Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another match review, Chelsea versus Luton. But we're also going to be talking about the last 8 days of the window, Chelsea and their attacking options. Who will they sign? Who will they go for? We've got lots to get into, guys. Lots to get into. Make sure you're smashing the likes. We're going to start with Pochettino's press conference first, guys. That's where we're going to start. Big up to every single one of you that are here at the moment as well. And let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another show for you. Chelsea Luton's match review, but also where we will start, which is the press conference, and then a bit of transfer news as well, which we'll be talking to. We'll be getting in the panel today as well to go through everything. I hope you guys are all well wherever it is that you are as well. It's been a while. Leo, how are you? Concierge of Crime, big up to you, my brother. Big up to D6, big up to RD, big up to Ashraf. It is indeed. Big up to Bobby. Big up to CFC Pez Lord. Smash the likes, guys. See if we can get these likes up as quickly as we possibly can. If you can do that for me, I'd appreciate it. We're going to get straight into things. I want to start with the Pochettino press conference, which is currently live at the moment. And we will start with his comments around us being a bit unlucky. And he says here, a little bit unlucky in many of the injuries and problems, but I am positive and we will compete tomorrow. Listen, we are suffering from injuries again. 2 games in, and I'm quite shocked on the level of number of injuries that we've actually got. We're going to go through that a little bit later in the show, where we will discuss in more detail the injuries for individuals as well. We then go on to his comments here. I've just got to try and stay with things here on Carney Chukwuemeka, who says we will see. It's not an issue that we'll spend months, but he will spend months out, weeks. We hope he can be with the team soon. He scored, then got the issue. It's football. And it is football, don't get me wrong, but it's frustrating as well, right? Because he played really well against West Ham in the first half. You know, I thought he wasn't as good in the Liverpool game, but he steps up in this one. And it's really a shame to actually see him go out with an injury. But he did say months out, but then also said weeks. So he's already had his assessment, and he's obviously had his injury, his operation, his injury. So now he's just going through the rehabilitation at the moment with the club. So we have to see what happens there. Guys, if you are coming in, big up to every single one of you just going through the press conference at the moment. Be waiting for just Jen would be happy to wait for you to dry your hair. I know it's wet as hell, isn't it? I've literally got mousse in it at the moment, so it's very flat. But we move. Big up. MJ, what are you saying? Why are we going to... I know, tell me about it. Let's go back from this, and then we'll jump on to the next thing that he's come on with, which is, we're jumping ahead there. Discussions in and around transfer window being open. He said the club is still working. Some players are linked, maybe true or not true. We will inform when it happens. I cannot confirm Petrovic. I cannot say nothing. It's possible, but we cannot confirm. We cannot confirm David Washington. So basically, he's doing what every gaffer does. Not confirm what the hell's going on with the football club, which is standard, normal in many ways, to be fair, guys. Especially when it's not fully confirmed by the football club, etc. Managers will not speak on players being signed. But we know Petrovic, who we're going to talk about in a bit, is supposedly having his medical at Chelsea in the next couple of hours. David Washington also, what we had earlier today. So keep an eye out for that. He goes then talking about Romelu Lukaku. And this is an interesting one because there's been talks about Romelu Lukaku as of recent as well. Goes on to say no situation. He says, no, the situation did not change. I tell you, all can happen. At the moment, the situation didn't change. It's a situation that was really clear before we arrived here. We are relaxed. If something changes, we will inform you. So I don't really get too much of what he has to say there, other than basically, my decision hasn't changed on Romelu Lukaku. He doesn't want to play for the club. If players don't want to play for the club, then we're not interested in having them in the squad. And I think that's a great attitude to have, rather than just bringing back in because maybe we're suffering with having a number of attackers available in the team, which, let's be serious, is the case. Yes, Couch, what you saying? Big up Surfs. Guys, we're just going through the press conference as we speak at the moment. Smash the like buttons, guys. How quickly can we get these likes up? Can we keep getting them up, please? He then goes on to talk about Mykhailo Mudryk, and he says, minor issue maybe only a few days. He won't be available for tomorrow. He's a player we have hope for and can perform in the way he can perform. It's not a big issue. He's saying again, bit of time. It's only a couple of days. He might just have a strain. Sounds like he's probably got a muscle strain or something in training. We know that the training with Pochettino at the moment is meant to be very, very intense. Very intense. And it's putting the players through their tests, but at the same time, is it also bringing injuries on the players again as well? This is the other thing. So, yeah, Mudryk will be back for the next game, past Luton by the sounds of it. So that's good news. Broha, he's close to returning, but the latter steps is always difficult. He's training well. We have hope also. It's easy to say we need another offensive player, but we have offensive players to recover. We are working really hard to analyse. And I think this is really a key important thing here, because we are going to talk about Chelsea's options of attacking players today as well. But when you look at where he says it, it's easy to say we need another offensive player because the squad lacks it at the moment. But we have offensive players to recover. So it's really hard in having that balance. And I think what I don't think he wants to do is what we currently had at the moment, which is an overpopulated squad of individuals that ain't maybe getting as many minutes, etc., etc. But when you have players that are on long-term injuries and you do need to progress and you have got the expectations that are up against you, like Pochettino has got right now, he has got an expectation to be doing well with Chelsea this season. You have to look at the market. You can't just wait for Nkunku to come back in January. You've got football in between to play. Where could we find ourselves in the next 3 months if we don't go looking for it? At the same time, I get what he's saying, because Nkunku comes back and he's fresh and he's sharp. Automatically, you're going to want him to come straight into the team. So what happens with the individuals that you have brought in? So I think they just need to work it out between them and find the balance. And I think we do need to find one more offensive player in terms of options and creativity, because yes, he has loads of offensive players, true, but we don't really have any creative players, and that's something that I think we need to look into. He's a player. We're going to get to whatever that was there in a second. So there's news on that. What else are we are? It's a little unlucky. It's a little unlucky needing offensive players. Maybe we need help now, but when they are fit, we need this. Just said it, didn't I? How is that? When they are fit, we need the right profile. That's why it's not easy. We are trying. And he's got it spot on there. Do you know what? I'll give him that. He said we need the right profile, not just go and buy players because they're an attacking player. They need to fit what we're doing. They need to fit the profile of the level of systems that he wants to play. And he's right. It's easy just to say we need attacking players, but who's available in the market, seriously, for a good price, and who fits the system? And I like the idea that he's looking at that, and he probably thinks, well, all the players that I have got injured fit what I'm trying to do, and I'm comfortable with. But at the same time, that we do need help now. So he needs to try and find a player that brings a profile, brings the right profile into the team again, which is obviously going to be the intriguing start. Yeah. So we move on from that with offensive players and on to his comments again on Romelu Lukaku. I explain again. If he's and clubs wish to find a solution, the player and club inform me to change. I will not move until the player or the club come to talk with me. It was before I arrived. So what he's saying is the clear message with Romelu Lukaku is that he's going and he's not involved in anything that we want to do. We're just trying to get him out. He's basically saying if anything changes where the club or the player comes and says, well, actually, change of here, want to be here, want to this, that, and the other, blah, 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 then that may be a different story. But as it stands at the moment, he hasn't had that conversation. So why would he, why would he even entertain having an idea on Romelu Lukaku? Big up Chelsea till I die. I hope you're well, guys. There's over 100 of you guys here. Get the likes up, guys. Hit the thumb. We are going through Mauricio Pochettino's press conference at the moment, and then we're going to get into some transfer talk and obviously team lineup with a panel. We will succeed. And then goes on to say, we will succeed. The players are buying into the idea and philosophy. It's only a matter of time. It's a process we can't fault. And I think he's massively right there. Played 2 games. And from them 2 games, I know we've drawn and lost one. I've seen much more of an identity in how we want to play in these 2 games, and it's early doors, than I have pretty much the whole of last season, barring the Champions League part where we actually finished first and we actually played good football. So you know, I think he's right. I think can't force it. He's saying they're buying into it. We'll see on the pitch. We've got a big amount of couple games coming soon against the top 10, top 6. I've been looking in, it's serious games, which we're going to have to be ready for. And they will be the challenges where we need to start winning games, but we do need to start winning now. That's the thing. We need to start putting points on the table and building our way up to that, So he's right, and I get what he's saying. But yeah, we move. He goes on to talk about Luton Town. We're not going to talk too much about that. He goes on to talk about Ross Barkley. He's a great player, very talented with the quality. Ross Barkley plays for Luton, as we know. Then he goes to talk on about Raheem Sterling, and he says it was good from the beginning. We had plenty of conversations to know each other. Then the player needs to trust us. The quality is there. He's experienced. He can still improve. He played really well versus West Ham. Good. And what I saw of Raheem Sterling against West Ham was a better Raheem Sterling than I've seen in a Chelsea shirt for a very long time. And I mean, when he came to Chelsea, that first period under Tuchel, he was very good, in my opinion. And then he died off. But since that, this performance against West Ham was spot on. And if he can continue driving, open up space, crossing the balls, whipping them in, find himself in the box as well, because we need him. We actually need him in the box. I really do think we need to get Sterling in the box more. Because as much as we're relying on Jackson to do it, I think Sterling's another one that will contribute to goals, and I think we need to try and find him in the box as much as possible. So, yeah, it's good. And I thought Pochettino would like Sterling. I even said before he even come, I said this is one that works for both. This literally works because if Pochettino can get a tune out of Sterling, he will start him, and he has. Right, Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia, guys. Moises is ready to start. Lavia, no. He needs a few weeks to be ready to be involved with the team. He's conditioned. He's working now to catch the team. For Romeo, we need to wait a few weeks. Moises is ready. There you go. So Romeo Lavia isn't ready. We need to wait a few weeks for him, which is interesting. And you got to bear in mind, with Lavia, it's always not... Yeah, we want to see him. We will see him. Obviously, the next couple of weeks is fine with me. He's going to come in. Do you know what I mean? So time will tell with Romeo. But he's always one for the future, Lavia. He's definitely one for the future of this football club. Now, and yeah, we have to be a little bit patient to see the potentials of Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo on the same pitch. And I would love to see it. I really would in one game. I think getting him right and ready for the games that we have later is probably the best way of moving forward with it as well. Because when you look at the schedule, and we will go through the schedule, in a bit. Because people panic now. What's wrong with him? Why is he not available? Blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe his condition's just not there. Maybe he didn't really have a pre-season. Didn't really play much, I don't think. I know he played bits and bobs. But maybe he's just not at the level that we need him in a Pochettino team. And we saw it with Moises Caicedo up against West Ham. He was not ready for that, guys. It took him 2 weeks to be ready when you think about it. He played half hour against West Ham, but he was there 4 days before. So he had a week to get ready for that, and he still wasn't ready. So whatever it is that Pochettino is getting them to, conditional-wise, get them ready conditionally, because they need to be ready for that, for the intensity of the way that I think he wants to play, but also structure, system, ideas, how we want to play it, etc. These things will take time, and with match time, he's going to get that. But I think when he says couple of weeks, I think he probably means a week or two, to be honest, for Romeo Lavia. I don't think people should worry too much about... Yeah, exactly. And there's also international breaks. Yeah, but that's fine. Couple of weeks is international breaks, exactly. So it actually probably does us a favour, because then we can bring him up to level, and he'll be ready to kick on with the football club. So we move on from that comment. He goes on to say we need at least one goalkeeper. We have a very talented keepers, but we need one more. One offensive player, the correct profile to help. Mauricio Pochettino has actually come out and confirmed we need one goalkeeper, which we've got in Petrovic. And by the way, I've heard very good things about him, but we'll see. We have very talented keepers, but we need one more. Yeah, because we ain't got enough. One offensive player. So he's actually confirmed there. One offensive player with the correct profile to help. Basically, squad depth. Someone that can come in at this right moment in time, create and be effective. There's some people moaning about, oh, we need more. We don't. I think we need to get one for now. And obviously we need a striker as well, but we're not going to re-rush in to get that, I don't think, anytime soon. Right. And then he goes on to say, we need to adapt, but be positive because the players need to listen, work. It's tough for the players, then us coaching staff. We need to translate the positive energy. They need to feel we support them and are behind them. It's a challenge we really enjoy. So, there's a lot of pressure on him. He's obviously got a way of the way he likes doing things. The quality is there. It's only a matter of time. He doesn't worry. He feels the quality is here in the squad. Matter of time for it to be shown. How can you control injury problems? It's not about training / not training or not training enough. It's football. It's difficult to talk in general. We cannot explain in general bad luck, bad methodology. In some points, it's bad luck for sure. So he seems to think we're just having bit of bad luck on the striker front. Which, yeah, makes sense as well in what he's trying to get at as well. And I think for barring that, guys, I think that is it. I think that could be it. There's over 130 people in here at the moment. I'm just waiting to see if there's any more. Then we're going to get straight into transfer news. Over 130 people in the chat. Big up, guys. How is everyone? How is everyone in the chat? Say hello. Hope you're all good. We got Ashraf. Who else we got on it? Untaker CFC in the building. He thinks we're going to draw against Luton as well, which is interesting, guys. But yeah, over 130, nearly 150 of you guys here. We are waiting just to see if there's any more news from him. Let's just see. Keep refreshing the page. No, I think it's done. So what did we get from that, guys? Well, Lavia's not ready coming weeks, but again, we've got international breaks, which is fine. He don't want Lukaku in the team. He's made it very clear that he wants one goalkeeper, one more offensive player, but with the right profile. And I love that word, the right profile, one that fits what we're trying to do, which I think is very important. Yeah. He feels confident in the quality of the team that we have. He feels the team itself is quality enough, and the quality will show very soon. It just needs a bit of time. They can't force it on them. They think it will just click very soon, but they are taking to the ideas, the game plan, the method, what he's trying to do very quickly and nicely. So he's confident. And I like that. The fact that he's confident. Jem, are you still? I am still cool with Johnny. Yeah, I spoke to him not long ago, actually, when he was live on Instagram. Enzo Caicedo, Gallagher, midfield tomorrow. I think so. We're going to talk about that. Talks of bringing Lukaku back at the end of the season if they can't. No, I think Pochettino made it very clear with Lukaku. He won't be coming back unless the player or the board themselves change their stance. It was made very clear to him when he was coming in that Lukaku's just not involved. He's not joining Chelsea. He's not involved in the squad. Doesn't want to be here. We don't want players that don't want to be here. And that's what Pochettino said as well. So the fact that he's been sort of kicked out in many ways is probably the right word, is because he don't want to be here, and plus the club don't want him playing for the team when he don't want to play. 160 people in the chat. How are you all doing, guys? We want to sign Brennan Johnson. We're going to talk about that in a second. Big up, back four. I hope so. Yes, Jack Anderson. How you doing, my man? Is there any more news from Pochettino? I think we're done, aren't we? I think it's done. Yeah, it's done. It's done, guys. So we've gone through the press conference. We spoke about that already. Nearly 200 of you guys here at the moment. Big up to every single one. My hair is wet. People going, why is your hair wet? It's because I have had a wash in that. So yeah, I was in a massive rush trying to get on here and that. So my curls are literally flat as hell right now, guys. I have no curls. But Bobby says, I don't get the overreaction of fans after the. I think that's just Chelsea fans here, isn't it, really? I think that's how Chelsea fans roll. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I think we just have to wait, be patient. He seems to be happy that what's being done in training is actually, they're taken to it. We need to see it on the pitch. As football fans, we need to see this on the pitch, and we need to see this football club move forward with progression. And that's the big key. Thoughts on Enzo's career so far? Lovely, great, class. Love him. Unbelievable. Just now, unlock him, play him further forward. Make sure there's players behind him that can allow him to be more effective. And we'll see the class of Enzo. I'm telling you now, we will see the class of Enzo more going forward. The first half, we should have put the game to bed. But let's be real, the second half was poor. Yeah, of course. And I agree. And that's what I was so impressed about. You rewind, and I said this to people, you rewind us to last season in that position at West Ham, 1-0 behind. Do we come back in that game? We don't. We generally don't make it back in that game. And the difference, what I saw in both the Liverpool game and West Ham game, is we continued with the game plan and we continue to press and create chances. Now, the issue we still have is putting the ball in the back of the net. But in terms of game plan and structure and what we're trying to do, we can see what we're trying to do. I just think it does need a bit of time. But Pochettino needs to be able to solve how to break down low blocks. One of my biggest issues with him coming across to Chelsea, and I did say this and I'm staying quiet on it at the moment, was him working out how to break down teams at the bridge. And we're going to have the same problem tomorrow against a Luton team that's going to be very organised. I expect us to win. I expect us to put, a good 2-3 goals in the net. I want to see that. I'll be honest with you. But I need a good performance, and I need to see Pochettino solving issues. If we're not breaking them down the first half hour, does he change the system? Does he make a change of personnel? We need to see him and show us that he understands how to go and get the win, especially when it's difficult, and that's the real thing. Do you think we'll get Cherky? We're going to talk about him. We're going to go into transfer talk now. And then we're going to go straight back to the game. We're going to do line up and get the panel win as well. Yes, John, how are you? We need a bag, man. We do, bro. We do. Time will be given, but please beat Luton first. We have to beat Luton, in my opinion. Yeah, I said this would be worrying. Yeah, and I need to see Jackson on the end of these chances. Hopefully he's going to get a lot of chances tomorrow, Jackson. We're going to need to see him put the balls in the goal. Right, guys, let's get into things because I have got things to get through. We have got 8 days left of the transfer window, guys. Only 8 days left. Now, in terms of transfer news, where do we stand with goalies? Well, we've been linked to this guy, and it seems like the deal's done. We've got the here we goes already. Sky Sports seem to be telling us that in the next 24 to 48 hours, Petrovic is expected to have his Chelsea medical, which is a good one, interesting one. He's one that a lot of people don't know about. I've seen the clips. I've watched bits of him. He does look very solid in them clips, but YouTube clips and watching the real games, two different things. I need to see him on the ball. I need to see him from corners. I can see that he's a very good shot stopper. That's one thing I can say. He's a bigger frame than some of the keepers that we've had before. Some people have quoted him on the basis that if he played in Europe, he would be a starter for his country. It's the fact that he doesn't play in Europe, that he doesn't get a star. So now he's got the big opportunity to come to Chelsea. He will be coming in and competing with Sanchez, who a lot of people feel is not the right guy. I'm still on the bench with it. I am. I can see where they're going with it to a degree. I think the goals, when we blame him for the goals, and then you use Kepa as an example, I think it's stupid because Kepa would not be any better in them positions. But, can we find a goalie that can make them saves, be more consistent? Does this boy give us the opportunity? Does he have now the opportunity to do that? Yes. Will he play games? We'll have to see. For whatever much money we bought him for, I want to see him come in and challenge Sanchez for that position and that role. And it will put a rocket up Sanchez as well, because now he's got people coming in that will take his spot if he doesn't perform. So I haven't. No, he plays like Pope. I'm impressed. Petrovic isn't the best goalie in the MLS. Well, we're being told he is. Some people seem to think he is. For me, it's another season of who's going to score. Yeah. That's true, Sean. And that's a problem. That is a big problem. We need 4 or 5 wins on the trot to build some confidence. Yeah, I know, guys. I know we do. Right, so Fabrizio Romano has also added to Chelsea today and said that I think Chelsea will be very active in the last days of the window. They need more additions, so it's going to be busy. So he seems to still think Chelsea are going to make things happen, even though we've got Caicedo, Lavia, Petrovic, all these young players that we brought in, etc., etc. He still seems to think Chelsea are going to be active. We heard Pochettino in his press conference today say he wants one offensive player, but with the right profile, and one goalkeeper. But didn't mention Petrovic because he's not a Chelsea player. But I think that's done. I think the goalkeeper side's done. I think now It's about the offensive side. Who are they going to bring in? There's a lot of talks about availabilities, and we're going to go into offensive players next. Who really is available left, or who's available left for Chelsea to look at? Big up Chelsea for life. Hope you're good, man. Well, we're going to go through them now. Guys, make sure you're hitting the likes. There's over, 100 plus, 100 and nearly 200 people here. Nearly 200 people here. Keep smashing the likes. Can we get this up as quickly as possible, please? I'd appreciate it. We're going to talk about these options. Who are the options that we have left? Well, the options that aren't left, we'll start with, are now. And we will link to these players as well. One is a comment from Jonathan Johnson, who says, Bradley Barcola's situation continues to attract speculation. But to be honest, I do not think Chelsea stand much of a chance as long as PSG are in the race for him. Now, we've already heard that. With this guy individually, he's very interested in going to PSG. I think Fabrizio Romano, was it Fabrizio or someone came out and said that he's still in negotiations with them. Chelsea is still hanging around, but hanging around basically means, hey, we're here. If you do want to come to us, we're here. He's talking to PSG. If he gets that done, he's going over there. We ain't getting him, basically. So that's one individual that we're looking to potentially try and get, but we're not going to get because he's going to go somewhere else. So we liked, apparently. Fair enough. Kohler is the only realistic option, but he's never played as a 10. Okay, all right, fine. So we move on from him because I don't think we're going to get him personally. And then the one that I really wanted, and I don't know about you guys, is now on the verge of joining West Ham, Mohamed Kudus. I really don't understand it, to be honest. I don't get why we've not. I mean, Poch made it come out with something very important: profile. He suits what we do. He can play as a 10, play as a winger. He could even play up front on his own if we need him in games. He has the versatility option. He scores goals, double digits last season. If it was 18 or something like that. His assist levels are low, so we maybe don't get creative for element from him, but he scores. And one of the problems we have at the moment, and we keep saying it, is partly creativity, but also taking our chances. And without Christopher Nkunku, who I feel if he was in the game against West Ham, would have took one of these chances or two, and he would have been a difference, in my opinion. We lack that killer edge again. And Kudus would have given us that in front of goal, and he would have took chances, I feel, from what I know of the guy. So I am a little bit frustrated that he's going to West Ham. And I'm quite shocked that Chelsea haven't really bothered to come in for him. You know, Gem, I would start Matson as a 10, then Chile as left back. Raheem off the left. Really? Interesting. Good shouts, though. I hope you're well, mate. Not seen you in a while. Hamid's going cheap. We get this guy for like 45 million if we went in for him. Not sure why we don't do it. That's what I'm saying. I don't really understand why. Yeah, and I get that as well. Obviously, we've seen Anthony come from Ajax. We've seen Ziyech come from Ajax. These are players that haven't really performed very well. But I just feel, in terms of profile, what we are trying to do, the technical ability, the speed, the arriving in the box, being able to find himself in positions to score, which he does do. He's an attacking midfielder. He's a forward. He would have been perfect for what we need specifically right now as ammo, especially until Christopher Nkunku comes back as well. In terms of all of the players that are available in the market, profile, what they offer, how they play the game, he, for me, was top, in my opinion. He was top of the pile. He might go to West Ham and be absolutely awful. Let's not get it twisted. But I just think it would have just worked for us. Yeah, exactly. And there's obviously a reason why we've not gone for Kudus, in all fairness, isn't there? So maybe it's not the right profile for Chelsea. I feel, looking at how we've played and what we're doing, he probably does. But maybe we're looking for someone that's more creative than maybe someone that scores. And that's a problem because we need someone that can put the ball in the back of the net. And losing Kudus as an option is a bit painful, not going to lie. So he's out. Barcola's out. And we're being linked to players like this. And I'm sitting there scratching my head. Why this player? Like, why are we even looking at this guy? There is a belief in the market that Chelsea will move for Brennan Johnson late in the window if his future is not yet agreed. He's okay. Watched enough of Brennan. I've seen him at Forest. But let me ask you this. Does he fit the profile of what we try and do? Really and truly. And I know you can't really look at stats on players, right? But you got to. I need to see his stats. I need to see his stats, man. Because 2 games, no goals already. Last year at Forest, he played 38 games, all of them, 8 goals, 3 assists. And I'll bring this up for you guys so we can actually look at this together. Yeah, well, Jim, yeah, I've heard those, but it still feels like there's rumours in and around it, and it's obviously one that I wanted to talk about at facts, but this won't be true. Hopefully, I don't think it's true, but even just looking at his stats, 38 games, 8 goals, 3 assists, 44 games, all right? Let's go to maybe the year before. Let's have a look where he was in the Championship and how he performed there. 16 goals, that's pretty impressive. 9 assists, that's pretty impressive. Don't get me wrong, that's pretty good, but it's Championship. So from Championship to Premier League, 8 goals, 3 assists. He's pretty much halved his Championship stats by coming into the Premier League against better quality, up against better quality players. I just don't think that this guy is even worth it. 38 million euros as well. He's definitely one for me that I think we need to stay away from. It's not bad though, Ardy. It's not bad for an attacking midfielder. That's it, Josh. And it's not that he's not a bad player. It's just, is he a level of Chelsea? Is he a level of Chelsea? Does he come in and suit what we try and do? Guys, there's over 200 people here right now. Big up to every single one of you guys. Keep smashing the likes. I don't think so for me. And then we go and move on to one that some people still can't seem to shake off. So we know Kudus, who was my number one, by the way, is going to West Ham. Barcola looks like he's going PSG. Cherki, the links are starting to warm up again. But it could just be because there's not many options. I don't know. But Cherki, we'll talk about in a bit. Johnson's overpriced and doesn't really excite anyone. Let's be serious. It leaves João Felix, who terminates his contract with Atletico. However, it seems that Barcelona are where he wants to go to next. Chelsea made it very clear when they laid him off that they didn't want him. But does it change because he's now pretty much tore his contract up with Atletico? Because that's what he's supposedly about to do. And would he be a good option for Chelsea coming back into the team if we were to look for someone? Free agent, available. And there's some people still living in it. And I see a lot of it. And you know my thoughts on this guy. You know it. Yeah. And part of the reason why we didn't buy him and the club didn't buy him, I actually back. Because he was never worth the money that Atletico are asking for. However, and I will say however, him deciding to leave Atletico himself and become available compared to what's available in the market, and this is me saying it, people know my thoughts on him, and it's not that I hate João Felix, I don't. I've always said I think he's a good player. And what we have in the market and what's available, would he specifically suit a Poch system? Is he the right profile of player to then bring back as a free agent and use? That's the question. That's the question there. Yeah, better players around him now. Let's be serious. Would he be more effective? I still think he has these issues. We know that in front of goal. Yeah, he's very good with the ball. Link up. Would he be very good with someone like Nicholas Jackson that's technically good with the ball at his feet? Potentially, that could be something that works very well. I would not say no to. I just think his decision making is an issue. He doesn't create enough. And I think if we're going to bring someone, we need someone that creates. And I think the other issue of this with him still for me is his goal scoring. Because he should score a lot more goals. And when we talk about what we need currently right now and what we're trying to find, it's probably someone that either creates at an extent or someone that can score goals at an extent. Kudus, for example. I don't know if he's that still. Yeah, he will get us flowing and little flicks of Nicholas Jackson and things like that. Is he going to release the ball at the right time? These are all little things that I just have question marks for him still. Like, yeah, I get that, Josh. I 100% understand that. Yeah, I do. You know, but without Havertz amount in the team currently, as we see right now, and our attacking plays better, by the way. What I'm watching, it's much better. But when you look at the other side of it, and it's the side of in front of goal, putting balls in the back of the net, I still think we're having that same problem without them at the moment, and it is because we're missing Nkunku, in my opinion, because he's a killer. He would have been the difference in these last games or twos. Do you know what I mean? But I'm trying to understand that if we're going to bring an offensive player across, what is it that we want from him? Or what, Poch mentioned profile is important because he needs to suit the system. That's important. But also, how do we benefit so that we're better as a team on the attacking side of things? Well, for me, it's either they put the ball in the back of the net, for me, because that's the most important thing. So you bring someone in that can actually put the ball in the back of the net, or they create at more of a level, like maybe an Elise did, double digits assists. And the issue maybe ain't too much of creating because Enzo's been robbed of assists so much recently. He could have had 2 or 3 assists against West Ham if we had people up front that could score. So it's a hard one for me because I understand it because he's free and yeah, there's quality with him 100%. I've seen it. I'm not saying he's a bad player. It's just getting it right for us moving forward. Felix is a 10. He's more a false 9. Well, no, Havertz was our top goal scorer, wasn't he? Ended up being our top goal scorer. Is there no more news on Vlahovic or Washington? No, there isn't. There is not. But who knows? I don't think that will happen, personally. I think we've squashed that. I think if we were to have got him, we could have potentially done it then. But then it rolls on the questions about Cherky, because now we're starting to heat up again on it. And there's stats on Cherky, which are compared to Kudus and Olise, 2 players that Chelsea were linked up at the beginning, who are now not available. And you look at the minutes and the performance levels. Kudus is at very high at 5.1 as an average with 4.9 for Cherky. Olise was actually bottom. Created chances. Olise, who, by the way, his biggest trait is creating. But then you compare it to Cherky, who's not even miles behind, creates. And that ticks a box for me because he will create in a different way. Drives with the ball, links up play, creates, with the end product of creating for someone. He's shown it there. Offsides, he's got less compared to Elise and Kudus because he plays more of a deeper role, 10 role, in my opinion. And then you look at touches on the ball. Elise took the most, Kudus took the least because I believe he's more of a play over the top player or the ball in and he just runs with it himself. Cherky does do that, but he also likes to play with the team in build up. So he's sort of in between that. Non-penalty goals 4 to 11, 2 assists 6, 3, 11. So yeah, they're not double digits, but they're better than Kudus's, who on the flip side scores more goals. Let's be serious. But then Elise, whose biggest trait is creating, is 11, and he's in double digits. Passes attempted. Again, he's banging the middle of both of them. Passes completed. He's banging the middle of both of them, but with a very good average, by the way, when you look at it. It's not like, you know what I mean? His pass accuracy is 81%, better than Elise's, but below Kudus's. His long ball attempts are near enough as close to Elise, but Kudus doesn't, again. So, again, he has an overall range of long pass accuracy, short pass as well. Long passes completed, he's at the highest, just before Elise. Forwards passes, he's second. Backward passes, whatever, that's fine. Sideways passes, 400 to 500, 370. And it goes on. It'll go on. And then the most important one with it is through balls. Someone that actually is progressive and looks forward. He seems to have a better stat overall. So again, I'm looking at the overall ability and profile here because what this is doing is it's breaking down the stats of what their overall game is. And it gives us an idea. Successful layoffs, take-ons. I mean, he's at 86%. That is pretty high, man. That's pretty impressive. I mean, Kudus is at 91, but again, that goes back to what I said. He's more of a dribbler. Elise is only 43. Fouls won, he's at the least. Fouls conceded, he's at the least. Duels contested, he's at the least. Again, he's someone that doesn't like working off the ball defensively, running back and all that. That might be a problem in a Poch system. But in terms of the other way and the ball at his feet, it's pretty impressive. Ball recoveries, interceptions, again, he's very low. Tackles made is very low. He doesn't really work hard off the ball. If he hasn't got the ball, he doesn't work hard off the ball. But is he available for us? He's very exciting, but you can already see from the stats the type of player he is. And yeah, you could really link it to the way Hazard is, really, in the fact that he has very good abilities with the ball, technical ability, great. Overall, his abilities are good. You want to feed him the ball all the time. Give it, give. But when it comes to off the ball duties, he has no interest. You know what I mean? So interesting stuff there. I don't really want to talk about Romelu Lukaku. We know the situation. We don't need him. Obviously, Raf brought out this thing about asking this question for all of us as Chelsea fans. And it goes, Lukaku back. Well, he ain't back because Fabrizio Romano confirmed Chelsea's still not interested in having him back. He was linked to a move to Saudi of recent. Will that happen? Who knows? I hope so. But yeah, I don't see us doing anything with him. They are very comparable at the age of Gem. Who are the three of them? Kudus, Elise, Cherky. They are, but they have different level. You know, I mean, like their stats levels for assists. Like for example, Elise's is a lot higher than Kudus, but they're all sort of similar in across the ball. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm not even going to waste time because I don't really think it's going to happen. Now, going on to the Luton game, guys, which is what we're going to on now. Mudryk is injured. He will not be available for the game on the weekend, which means will we see a back four? Will we see a back three? Wiltshire will be playing off the wing again, most likely, unless we bring in Matson, who I think deserves an opportunity. And we're going to talk about opportunities and team lineups, which is what we're going to go into in a second. Just reading something that someone sent me just now. Yeah, I've seen that one already. He must humble himself and apologise quickly. 8 days is right around the corner. Who's that? Turkey and Eden, Jim. Yeah, I agree. I think Matson needs to play. Mudryk's out. I think we need to look at Matson. And then when you look at all the other injuries that we currently do have at the moment, guys, I mean, it's a heavy list, right? Look, Chalobah's 1 month and Kunku's 4 months. Fana 7 to 9 months. Reece James is 4 to 6 weeks. Carney's in now 6 weeks. Mudryk's is a couple of days. Fabrizio Pochettino confirmed it was only a couple of days. He will be back for the next game. Badiashile is back in about a couple of weeks, but he is training. Broha is training, but again, is nowhere near. Lavia is not injured, but he's not in condition to be in the team for until the next couple of weeks. Which you got to bear in mind, there's an international break soon. So when this is a couple of weeks, it's probably just because we're going into an international break for 2 weeks, which, by the way, is actually pretty much good for Poch because it brings up all these, gives us more of an opportunity to slowly bring back players ready for when we go again. And we've got a very interesting schedule that comes up soon. And we've got a bit of a breakdown here, which was up an hour ago from Chelsea Football Club, talking about an update on injuries, where we are at the moment. And when you go into it, it says at least Benoit Badiashile is at the end stages of his rehabilitation program, which basically means he'll start training and then it will condition. So a good couple of weeks. Bettinelli is undergoing rehabilitation program still. Brower is at the end of his rehabilitation program, which means he will start conditioning and working towards getting fit and available for the team. Chalobah is undergoing his rehabilitation program still for the next couple of months. Carney is still recovering from his post-surgery and starting rehabilitation. So he'll be gone for 6 weeks. Wesley Fofana continuing with the early stages of his rehabilitation program. He's not even halfway, 3/4 away. He's just started, and that's without conditioning and whatever. So he's gone for pretty much the whole season, from what I understand. Reece James is continuing to undergo his rehabilitation program, as we understand. And Mudrik's out for a couple of days. And Nkunku is still at the early stages of his rehabilitation as well, because we're told he won't be back until January. But that is that. When you look at that list, that is a disgusting list, really and truly, isn't it? And you look at some of the names that are in there already: Nkunku, James, Fofana, Carney, Chalobah. There are some really important players already gone. You know what I mean? And it sucks that we, after 2 games, we're already having to deal with this. It just really, really sucks. But what can we do on that? So we're going to go into the lineup, and I want to talk to you guys about the lineup, what we expect. Now, a lot of people want to see the back 4. I do. I really do want to see it. And I think in this game specifically, and the next couple games, and you know what, actually, before we get to that, let's quickly have a look at the schedule, because I think it's important. Fixtures. Let's have a quick look, because this is a good period. I was trying to explain this the other day. We have a really good period of run of games now. Honestly, even when we come back in a bit, and I'll share it with you guys now. This right now, that that was on the Chelsea FC website, that list. When you look at the games we have from Luton all the way up to Burnley, because then it's Arsenal, and that's where it starts getting hard, and we'll look at that in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, all Premier League games, barring Wimbledon, who's in between that. Forest, Bournemouth, Villa at home, Fulham away, Burnley. This period that Poch has now, for me, is the perfect period for this squad to display what they're, from what he said on the pitch, which is they're learning very quickly, to display the structure and the philosophy and ideas of what we want to do until we get to Arsenal, which is at the end of October. We should be beating Luton over 2 goals. We should be beating Wimbledon over 2-3 goals. We should be beating Nottingham Forest over 2 goals. We should be beating Bournemouth away. We should just be winning. Aston Villa at home can be tricky, more of the trickiest game between that. And then we've got Fulham away. Yeah, it's a derby. It's going to be tricky, but we should be putting them away comfortably, in my opinion. And the same with Burnley. That's another game where we go there and we should win. This is a point of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 points from now, Luton, to all the way to Burnley on the 7th of October. We will review this period after Burnley. And I'm going to look and I want to see how many wins we got, how we played, scores, whatever. But this is the period that Pochettino, for me, has to get the system and structure correct. He has to start playing the system that these players can get drilled and be comfortable in moving forward. I don't want to see 3-4. And if it might be that 3-4-3 or whatever the fuck it is that we play is his system moving forward. I hope not. I really don't. Especially when you've got Lavia and Caicedo coming back soon. And a couple of weeks, meaning, well, let's have a look at the dates. Luton's tomorrow. September the 2nd, we play Forest. And after that, we don't have a game till the 17th of September. So we have a 2-week break from Forest to Bournemouth. So these next 3 games, I want to see 3 Ws. End of 3 Ws. And I want to see a structure. Whether it's a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1. Play it. Play the 4 at the back. These are the games where we need to play them. We need more offensive players on the pitch. And we need to see how we're breaking teams down who are going to play low blocks. Luton will play low block against us tomorrow. Nottingham Forest will play a low block against us at the Bridge. These are 3 home games as well. And Wimbledon will do the same. These are all 3 teams that are just going to sit back and want to see us on the ball. And it's going to be down to us to break them down. And I don't want to see it in a back 3. I want to see it with a back 4, with a pivot, 3 players in front and a striker. Or a 4-3-3. Or whatever. But 4 at the back. And work with that structure. Drill them into that structure. And start getting wins in that structure. And we have that break. All right, Lavia may not be back for Nottingham Forest. He might get half hour if he's available. But then 2 weeks later, we go back on. And the 4 games that we have all the way up to the 7th of October, Bournemouth, Villa, Fulham, Burnley, you have probably Lavia available, ready. Play the back four again. You get 3 W's there. You stick to the same structure. You go into them 4 games with the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3, whatever it is. Get the wins, because that's the most important thing. Solve how to break down low blocks, because we're going to have problems still with these games. We're going to have problems, and we're going to have to solve it, even in a back four or back three, don't really matter. We will have problems. But he needs to use these games to win and show us that these players are picking up on the identity, create, and take your chances and start scoring. Because once they start scoring goals, I think there will be a confidence. And if we can get a confidence in these games specifically, and it's a good batch of games for us, can't fuck this up, come in to this next bit after the 7th of October, where, by the way, we don't play again for 2 weeks. So we play 2 weeks. So from September the 2nd, we don't play till the 17th, 2 weeks. We play 4 games in that period from 17th to the 7th of October. And then we're away again for what? 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks? Again. And then it's Arsenal. So it's broken down into 2 weeks of games. And we're playing once a week. We have no excuses. We need to win these games. And by the time we get to Arsenal on the 21st, I want them to be so well drilled and so ready and so peak conditionally ready that when we go into that game, we can play a 4-3-3, which we probably could do with Lavia, Caicedo, and Enzo, let's say. And they've been so well drilled because we've been winning the games in the past that we can go and, take it to them. And that's the difference. Because then you look at that in the next couple of games, guys. Look, that is disgusting. Arsenal at home, Brentford at home. Okay, maybe we win that. Tottenham away, Man City at home, Newcastle away, Brighton at home, Manchester United away, Everton. All right, Everton are not great, but still not a bogey ground. But forget Everton, and let's cut it from Arsenal to Man United. That's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 points, guys, against back-to-back big challenging teams. Big challenges. And this is why this period from Luton to here is so key. I need to see 15 points out of 18 or 18 out of 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 points. 18 points, always Burnley. I want to see 15 points out of 18 minimum. I want to see 10s and 9s or anything less. We need to be winning these games. We have to put that pressure on them. And I know people go, yeah, no, but we have to win. We have to start winning these games. And then coming into this part, God knows. But just be ready and physically ready and structurally ready and game plan ready to take it to these teams, to create. It's going to be really interesting. I know that and Kunku's a pain in this as well. Absolute pain. But we will see what happens, guys. We will see what happens. 2 seconds. So yeah, that takes me on from that, and we've looked at the games, and it takes us into the next part. And there's over 200 people here right now, guys. Keep slapping the likes up, please, if we can do that. Goes into how are Chelsea going to set up? Well, I will show you what I would do. This is what I would do, and then we'll do what Poch is going to do. All right, let's quickly shut this off. Robert Sanchez is in goal. Okay. I think Ben Chilwell will play. As much as people want Maatsen, I don't think it's going to happen. I think you see Ben Chilwell play, but in a back four. I think you play Gusto, who, by the way, had a very good game in my opinion. Malo Gusto. And then you see Colwill. Now, to me, this defence is good enough. This defence is good enough to deal with Blimmin and Luton. I don't want to hear any excuses. There's no way in hell that defence is not good enough to go and take it to them. All right? That is what what I need to see. And then we go into the middle three. I think Caicedo will play. Now, what I think he might do is he might do this. Gallagher, Caicedo, Enzo. I could see that, right? I could see this midfield. Free midfield of them three. All right? Up front, no Mudryk, no Nkunku. We need someone on that left. I see Sterling. So he's got options here. He either does this, but this is I've got to go on what I would do, but I'll just say you either do this. You either do that, all right, or you do this. And I could see him doing that. Now, what I would do, perfect, permanent. What I would do, I mean, I wouldn't want to move Sterling from the right because he played well against West Ham. We know he can play off the left. Maybe we have to do that because of Mudryk being out. But I think you keep him on the right where he's been effective, which means Madueke doesn't play or start. And then you go and then you probably throw Maatsen in. Maxson, Jackson, Madueke. If Sterling's playing, bro. It's not Sterling's playing, I'm telling you now, for free. And deserves to play, by the way. Deserves to play. Now, he has options. Whatever you do. What I would do personally is probably this. I'd probably do this. But if we weren't playing a 4-2-3 and we were, say, playing a 4-2-3-1, 4-2-3-1, you'd have Enzo a bit further forward. Sterling. What I would do, trying to think here. Problem is we haven't got an 8, and I think Enzo's going to end up having to play there. I think it would probably still be the same. I don't see how Madueke gets into this team at the moment. I think even if you play a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, you have the issue with the 10 roll. It's not even a 10. You could use Enzo as like an 8/stat and have Gallagher and Caicedo a bit more deeper, let's just say, which I think he will do, by the way. And then Sterling as one of the right, Maatsen off the left, Jackson up front. It just doesn't mean Madueke gets in. So the only other way you get around it is if you do that to Caicedo Enzo as a pivot, and then you have to then move Maatsen in the middle, put Sterling on the left, and then put Madueke on the right. And go with like a 4-2-3-1 with Maatsen playing more as a 10, which, by the way, in pre-season, we see him do. But ultimately, I need to see the 4 at the back, in my opinion, because that defense is good enough to deal with it. It's just what do you do in the front areas? Do you play 4-3-3, Gallagher, Enzo, Caicedo, and then whoever up front, or do you do a 4-2-3-1, Enzo, Caicedo with maybe a Maatsen, someone that can play more in a 10 role? I mean, we got Couch here. How we doing, Couch?
Pretty good. It's been a long, tough week. Looking forward to tomorrow, though. I think that we have an opportunity to get some points here. So just hoping that we can get the lineup together, get the lineup right, and, take all 3 points. It's vital at this point in time, like you said earlier.
I don't know if you saw when I was talking about the fixtures. Did you get to see what I was
Yeah,
talking
like if we don't, we got to get some wins on the board. And then,
yeah.
I mean, it gets into a tougher stretch after these next run of games where I think the next 21 points after that gets challenging. But the important thing for me is not about so much collecting these points because they're easy. It's just about finding the rhythm and the form in the club. Like just finding the rhythm and the structure, getting that ironed out. Because if we get that right in these next 4, 5, 6 games or whatever, we go into the Arsenal game, we go into those subsequent fixtures, I think it's just going to be momentum building, taking us into those games where, we already know how we want to play. We already know what we want to do on the pitch. We have a real understanding, synergy. That's what's missing right now. I just think that we're just like an undercooked squad right now. So as much as I think you're right that we have to collect points here, it's mandatory just because these are the points that you when you look at the schedule, you're like, okay, well, we have to have these.
Mm.
I think right now, because the squad's so undercooked, it's really just about trying to like squeak through these victories and then just build our synergy and chemistry and hope that it takes us through to the other games.
I agree, and I think it is important that we get that, and this is why I said I think what he needs to do as a manager now is really focus on what system he really truly wants to play, and it might be the three at the back, even though we're assuming it's not. It
I don't
might be
even
the three,
like to be
but
honest. I don't even care what shape it is. To be honest, I just want to see more attacking players on the pitch.
yeah, but you can't do that when you have a three at the back. That's the problem.
Well, you can though, because we did it in the preseason where we had what was viewed as a back three. What he did was he overloaded whatever side of the pitch. So like when you saw Gusto play with Chilwell, Gusto would make up the back three with the two center backs, and then we would attack with everybody else. I mean, we're talking about personnel
Well,
more
that's
so
the
than we're
issue for
talking about
me.
the shape, right?
Yeah, because you're playing Chilwell on the left wing in the back three. He's not, and he does score goals. Don't get me wrong, and he arrives and stuff. But technically, he's not that, is he? You know what I mean? He
No, I
doesn't give
agree.
you.
I don't want to see him in any of those areas. I don't want to see him in those areas at all. To be honest, I think that we have enough players on the bench that can play that role for us and do more than fine, or at least
I
need
just,
the
yeah,
opportunity to have the
I just want to see
opportunity.
more offensive players on the pitch. That's my thing at the moment. And
Exactly.
When you're playing against Luton, the question with this and Nottingham Forest, by the way, before we go on to an international break, will be at the bridge. They will sit back, 11 men behind the ball, break us down. What do we struggle in doing and have been for a while? Breaking them down. So what do you need to do to try and break a team down? What are the things that you need to do? Right, you have to have a game plan and structure. 100% agree with Couch. We need that. Something we've not had in a while. You also got to have the right personnel on the pitch, playing in the right positions. Does that make sense? That can then
100%.
so like playing Ben Chilwell on the left of a wing when we're trying to create and break down the low block don't really work for me. I'd rather maybe have a Matson up there playing in them pockets. Someone that maybe can with his speed and that create and look up. And we saw it in the preseason; he did it. But with Matson, the next question is, and we need to see it because he's not beginning opportunity. Can he do it on the next level up in these type of games? And I think there's an opportunity for him. But going into this game, how would you line up? I mean, say it's a four at the back. How would you like to see us set up in terms of personnel?
Um, I think this is close to what I'd like to see.
Do you think Gallagher plays? Do you think that will always happen? It'll be a
It's
free
hard
of
to say.
Gallagher.
I think Gallagher might be able to give. I would like to see Matson myself, just because I feel like what he during the preseason, most of the good stuff that happened during the preseason, the good things that we saw happen, were either with Jackson, Matson, or Nkunku.
Yeah,
And to not see that sort of like translate to the regular season where Matson's not getting any minutes. Obviously, Nkunku's injured, and Jackson is starving for service. And even when he gets it, he's not really finishing. I want to see Matson be given an opportunity to find the form that he had in the preseason. So if that means playing him on the left, if that means playing him on the inside, like inside number 10 kind of thing, whatever it may be, give him some minutes. He showed that he's good enough to give us something. And to be honest, I haven't seen a link up with Jackson with anybody else that's been currently playing. The preseason, we definitely saw a link up play between Matson and Jackson, and I think that that's something that we need to look towards again. Whether it be Matson scoring goals off of Jackson laying, or Matson laying off to Jackson, there's a connection there that I think we're missing right now.
and that's the
Um,
most important thing. Is having chemistry, connections, and look. Listen, I said it already. If Nkunku player was playing against West Ham and even Liverpool, I think he would have scored in them
oh, without
games.
question, without
I
question.
really do.
He
I
just knows
really
he
do.
just knows where to be to find the goals,
Yeah,
right? He absolutely
yeah.
knows where to be. And if he wasn't scoring, he's definitely creating something, right?
Well,
Um,
and it would have alleviated the isolation of Jackson, which he's suffered in the last two games, in my opinion. He's been left alone a lot, in my opinion, a lot at the time because we're not getting close enough to him. And he's like, driving forward on his own, taking players on, which, by the way, he's very good at doing.
Yeah.
Like, he can do it, but you want someone running off him to create options for him, right? So he can play balls in or whatever. But
And also people that just recognize his runs too. Because I think the thing that I liked about Maatsen was he often recognized that Jackson wants the ball early, and he just release it into space for him and to let him just run onto it. And I just don't see enough of that right now, especially during the West Ham game. I thought our build-up play was so slow, when we're just looking to, pop it about, but it was just not moving quickly enough. And part of that is how West Ham set up, but part of that is just the unfamiliarity of the players that we had on the pitch, so yeah, I mean, it's not going to be overnight, that's for sure. It's going to take some time to get this thing right, but I really want to see. I wouldn't be upset if I saw what you have right here right now. But to be honest, I don't think that Gallagher is going to be in that number 6 role. I think it's going to be Enzo Fernandez for sure, and Gallagher in his more, I don't know if you want to say preferred.
But I think Poch likes him there, and I think he would like next to Caicedo having people that just run around and just break things. Obviously, Caicedo's much better at doing it, technician and whatever. But Gallagher, what he has shown in the last couple of games from deeper is in parts, which has been good in his game, is predicting where the ball's going to go and being in the right position to try and win it back and stuff like that. And I think when you play him there, like we did in the West Ham game, we played him, but he just disappears because he's not technically good enough, in my opinion, to be in these positions, to receive the ball, turn, create. As if you have an Enzo playing with
my
these.
worry, you're right. I would rather Enzo there if I had the choices, but does Gallagher. I mean, his first phase build-up play is awful. Like, he never knows where to play the next ball, and we just struggle and labor to play out from the back when he's there. If there's anything that I want to see, I'd just rather not see Gallagher on the pitch, to be honest. But I don't see where the next player is. Obviously with Chukwuemeka going down to injury and Kunku now, the next man up to me should be Maatsen. But then who do you play on the left? That's the problem.
Well, you could play Sterling there, can't you? If you had to, what you're saying, if you did that and then had,
and then put Enzo, and then get rid of.
I mean, Sterling could always go there, couldn't he? Really, let's be serious.
But he's finding such good form on the right.
I know, that's my problem. But then the only other option we have is, I know he could do this.
I don't want to do that though. Like
and then he puts Cucurella there.
No.
He would do that. I'm saying like that. That's the only other option you got.
Who else? We have absolutely no more attackers left in it.
Mudrik's out. Carney's out. And then Kunku's out. It's a joke, isn't it, really? It's only 2 games in.
Yeah, it's going to be Chilwell.
I'm trying to think what else we got. We haven't got anyone. This is why he came out today, Poch, in his interview and said, we need one more offensive player, right profile. And I like that he said that word, right profile. And one more goalie, which it looks like it's going to be Petrovic, but he's obviously not going to say that. But yeah, we do need, and I know it's because it's like what he said. He said, it's right always saying we need offensive players, but we have offensive players coming back. And then when we have them all coming back, I didn't need to incorporate them in. But at the same time, you got to have depth. So I think one more now, based on the position that we find ourselves in, which is not a good position, is probably the right thing now. Because let's just say we had, I'm just going to make this up. Let's just say that Cherky comes in. Yeah. Let's just say that happens. He comes in with all of everything that's going on. You have Cherky in there with Sterling, and then you play, let's just say Mudrik's out, which he is anyway, Maatsen off the left. And because Cherky's available and you've got that additional attacker, it don't look as bad because you've got the quality there.
It's also because it's Cherky.
Yeah, it's Cherky. Yeah,
it doesn't look bad because he's there, but like, if it becomes Barcola, who I think is very similar to Madueke,
for example, he would fit in there, right? Like he would slip in that role. Barcola, I mean, is he a 10? Really? I don't know.
Really. I think he's more of a winger, and I think he's very similar to what we already have. Like, the right profile to me means having like a variation in your game.
He's a winger. Like, you could do that maybe with him potentially, or flip it, whatever. Like, I don't know, but it gives you options. That's my point. It gives you that option having that one more, doesn't it? At this moment in time, we wouldn't be as less creative as we are, or potentially even like. And I keep saying this: you bring in Kudus, he scores your goals, but he don't create. And when you look at the West Ham game, we weren't create. We were creating enough. We just wasn't scoring in the first half, and then we ran out of ideas in the second half. Right, so it was a bit of both. But you have Kudus on the pitch on the first half. Potentially, he scores one or two of them chances that when the ball's coming in the box. You have Elise in the team playing off the right. He creates more consistently.
Let's not
But
talk
then,
about Jams.
but,
He's
but then you ain't got the finisher and thing. You bring in Shirky, it gives you a bit of both. So this is why profile is important. What is it that we need specifically now for us to be in a position where we're ticking and we're not having to always go, oh, fucking hell, we've had all these chances. It is goals because we do create, but at the same time, we run out of ideas at the same time. So I think it's finding the balance of a player that knows where the goal, where the net is, but also has the ability and vision to create. And that for me is Cherky.
Yeah, we're talking about it with Don in the chat there, and like we didn't talk about Cherky. We're talking about Barcola with Sterling and Madueke, and like for me, those guys are very similar. And as much as I think Barcola is probably a better finisher than Madueke at this point in time, the worry that I have with adding another player of that sort is that we're not really, the problem is not really that we're not finishing, it's that we're not creating enough opportunities to finish. And if you put Sterling in a position to score goals, is he going to score? More often than not, he's going to score. Like it's not. I think we're starved for the creation aspect right now. Somebody that can just put these guys in a position where they're going to bang it. Like who's in the team right now that can do that for us? I don't know anyone outside of maybe Enzo Fernandez who's playing deeper. But in the attacking area,
that's why he has to play further forward. Yeah, but that's why he has to play further forward for me. Like if you're not going to do it, he has to play as an 8/10, and then you just fill in someone like, because there's no point of playing Gallagher there. There's just no point. At least play him there where he kind of knows he's been playing the last two games, and it's a Caicedo and just runs around, wins balls every time they try and break or whatever, and then passes it. That's it. That's what I want from Gallagher. And that sounds stupid, and then you get Enzo, who's further forward, that gets the ball. Sterling's making runs direct. Maxson's going to make runs in behind because as soon as they see him on the ball, he has the quality and the vision to do it. Jackson will be making runs. So let Enzo be that person for now because we have to. We've got no choice, especially with Luton tomorrow. And if we bring in an attacker that has the abilities and is a bit more direct, dribbles and creates and scores, then you fit him in there and you put Enzo there and Gallagher disappears. But in the meantime, I think we have to do that. We can't do this and go, yeah, well, we'll just put Gallagher there, and when Enzo gets the ball deep and he tries to find the ball into the person here, it's Gallagher who picks the ball, but then hasn't got the eye to make the pass to Sterling.
I don't even think that, but the funny thing is, I don't even think the run of play that we've been working with the last little while goes through the middle anyways. For the most part, we're looking to go out to the flanks and then cross it in. Like that's pretty much entirely what happened against West Ham, like Sterling going down the right, looking for cutbacks in the box. And in that instance, I don't mind Gallagher there, to be honest, because I think he's a decent finisher inside the box, but it's just everything else, right? Like when you're trying to work with the build-up play and whatnot, he's just not the guy that you want there. It depends on, and Luton's going to pack the midfield anyway, so it's going to be harder for us to play through them than to play around them or play down the flanks, right? So that's something else to think about too. Are we going to be able to play those balls over the top? Is Enzo going to be best suited in the middle when, if we play him off to the right, for instance, there'll be more space for him to create. You play in the middle, he's just going to get congested.
I just think he needs to be in, and I agree. I think the problem with maybe him being here in a low block is they're going to fill the middle anyway. So trying to actually feed him, it's a problem. But then you put him there, then he's going to be playing of the deeper role, trying to feed the runs of people in front of him, which is better. But then it's the person in between the lines, if there is any space, with Jackson, who's then got to play close. So I'm a little bit like, well, and it's Gallagher. It's not like we've got a Carney there, or do you know what I mean? Someone that can carry the ball well and protect it and then lay it off and be strong because it's tight and congested in the middle. It's just hard. It's just a hard decision. But maybe we're looking at it too technical. But at the end of the day, I think it will probably be these three that play. in my opinion, and you'll see Chilwell play there. I mean, potentially there.
It's
Don't get
so
me wrong,
ugly,
but
man. Like, and then Colwell, like, how long have you known me to say that players will always resort to their type? You know, if you're a center back and you're asked to play in an attacking position, you're just going to be thinking the game like a center back, right? You're not going to be thinking the game like an offensive player. So that's the exact reason why I don't want to see Colwell playing on the left flank or
he's not fit
in
though.
left back position, and I don't want to see Chilwell playing in the midfield. Play guys in their proper positions, man, and allow them to grow in those roles. Like, we're not getting any better by playing Chilwell in the left midfield position and playing Colwell at the left fullback position.
I think
We're not playing better that way, is what I'm saying.
I think from what I've seen of Pochettino in the first 2 games, I think he's trying to make Chilwell into Alonso under Conte. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's that. And I think he's good going forward. Like, don't get me wrong, and reviving in the box. And he's had some good chances for us, by the way, which he's not taken. But you know, people saying Madueke, but he's not fit. He played, but he's not going to play a full 90 minutes. Maybe get half hour out of him, and then maybe the next game he plays more. But I just don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Hassan's here as well, isn't he? Hassan, what you saying, man? Hassan?
He was there.
You going to talk, Hassan? Got to sort out that blooming whatever he's using. God knows. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. And obviously, on the basis of what Poch said about needing one more offensive player is a good thing. I think we do need that. I don't know. I think the issue we have, I think the pressure's on Jackson. I don't know if I said this in the group chat, but I said he has had, all right, he's had loads of chances, but he's had good chances for us where I expect him to do a little bit better in front of goal. I look at the West Ham one when the ball come into the box and he sort of like fluffed it rather than it went behind him and Chilwell received it and then used his right foot to try and swing it in the bottom corner. But I would expect Jackson to like get a toe on that. Or do you know what I mean? Like little things. I'm like, come on, show us. Do you know what I mean? But,
yeah, absolutely, man. It's just, I just think that I don't know. Like, I feel like what we're seeing right now is just a squad that is missing players, crucial players at the wrong time. You know, I would love to have seen Mudryk this game. I thought that this would have been an opportunity for him to just like find his footing in the match from the get-go and just give us something that we haven't had. You know, but you know, as is right now, he's out. He's going to be out for a couple days, and now we have to look for another solution in that position. And for me, that could be Matson. I don't know. Like, I don't understand why he hasn't been used at all. Like, after the preseason he's had. Like, what is the plan for him right now? Is he going out on loan? Is that the idea? They're just waiting for somebody else to come in before they loan him out or something? But the idea that he'd had such a bright preseason and then can't get a minute on the pitch is silly to me. You know, who did we bring in? It was like Ugo Chukwu, like that just came in. He's getting minutes now. You know, like he came in the first game and got minutes. And it's just like, what is happening? What are we trying to do right now? You know, I haven't figured it out yet. It just seems to me that we have a lot of guys that are playing out of position right now when we have guys on the bench that would be better suited for those roles. And
you guys see me now?
Oh, you made it.
No. I was talking before, but I think because someone called me and stuff, it cut out my mic. And so I was saying earlier before I was completely cut off. 1 minute. Yeah, sorry about that. But
I didn't know you had
I was saying that I didn't want to disturb you guys because you guys were in a floor there. And
I didn't know you had a youth, man. What's your kid's name?
No, that's not my kid. That's my little sister. But other than that, I was gonna say, right, before I was cut off completely with my mic, that a lot of these players, it's just one of them things where the next 4 games, I don't think we should change our reservations. And what I was gonna say is that the momentum is key before we go into the games like Arsenal and all of the big teams around December time. I think the manager has to play the players in the right positions, as you guys have said. There's no point playing Chilwell on the left side or the further forward in the left wing position because he doesn't really have that. I think he's a lot more dangerous being that little left wing back, bombing forward with another player in front of him. this
100%.
type
He's
of
just not
lineup, I
technically
think.
sound enough. He's not technically sound enough to be somebody that can play in that position. You play him in the fullback role, you know, his limited technical ability, his ball striking ability, his crossing ability is a little bit more advantageous. But that left wing position where usually the
You need to
most
be a lot more
talented offensive
technical and a
player
lot
plays.
more sharp in that position, and he's not really that easy. So
Bro, we
Traditionally,
saw
that number 7 position is where the most talented player plays, and we have Chilwell playing there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
we saw that the guy's not a winger. We saw that the guy's got no fucking flair up against Liverpool, yeah, when Jackson set him up and he scuffed it. Poch needs to
So I
fuck off
said-
with his stupid back three. I'm annoyed every time I think about it, man. Because the players that we've got right now, right, just it's not back three time. Go back to a back four, please. But boys, afternoon.
I don't get why he changed it back. You know, like what Don said, all pre-season we play with a back four, and then all of a sudden you want to do a back three in these 2 games. I just don't get. All right, and Kunku's gone, but surely you could have thrown Mudryk on a bit more. And do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
This is the thing, though, Jemmy. Like,
just
look,
adding pressure to himself in that situation by changing everything up and doing unnecessary things. I think would be less annoyed if he actually played players in the positions.
I understood it against Liverpool because he had to pack out the midfield, yeah, and obviously Liverpool's attack's a bit peak. So that match, I understood it, right? And at that point, we didn't even have Caicedo and Lavia officially confirmed yet. I thought he was going to play Santos with a back four, but he didn't for whatever reason. So that match, I said, cool. But I'm sorry, you can't go to a back three up against West Ham. Like, the only thing I can think of is the set piece factor, and maybe he wanted more physicality on the pitch, more defenders on the pitch to help with the set pieces. That's the only thing I can think of, you know, because it's not about protecting Silva. We know how West Ham play. They're not going to have most of the ball. It don't matter if they're at home. They're just going to sit back against us. So we didn't need, you know, another defender to protect Silva because we didn't need that aspect of the game, you know. So we all said it before the game. The lineup was shit, and I tweeted it. I said this better work because it's not the right lineup for West Ham, and it didn't work, you know. So listen, he needs to go back to basics against Luton. This is a game where I've said we need to build a little bit of confidence in front of goal. You know, I'm trying to see a good, healthy margin. I'm trying to see 2-3 goal margin up against Luton. And
what would you do with
a win, man? To be honest,
what would you do with obviously Mudryk's out now, and that's the issue, isn't it? Because it gives us another problem in terms of trying to sort out the right. But obviously, Madueke's not fully fit, but he's playing. We've got Maatsen who could potentially start and play off the left, which means you could have a three of them. But would you potentially take Gallagher out and maybe throw a Sterling and put a Madueke on there? Like, what? I mean, fuck knows. What would we do?
Yeah.
I don't really know.
I think if Madueke is fit, I'm starting him on the right. I'm playing Maatsen in that hole, and then I'm playing Sterling on the left. That's what I will do, right? But if you're saying Madueke is not fit, then he'll probably play Sterling on the right. If he's going to a back four, how is he going to play Chilwell on the left? Because then who's he going to play behind him?
If you play Chilwell on the left, he's going to put Cucurella there, isn't he?
No, he's going to put Colwell there like he did last game.
What? And then play Sassy and Silva as the centre backs.
Yeah.
Listen, that's going to stink if he does that.
That's a bit risky.
We shouldn't be worrying about defensively though against Luton. We should be worrying about defensively against Luton. Sorry, whatever we put out.
Yeah, exactly.
We were worried about defensively against like West Ham, and we saw that.
We need to stop trying to over accommodate Chilwell, man. It makes no sense. Like, what's the obsession all of a sudden? Bro, like this thing that we're doing where we're playing Levi on the left side, like we're trying to play Chilwell further up. We're playing the guy out of position. So you're trying to accommodate him with what you're doing, right? You're playing players out of position. You're playing Chilwell in a position that he's not a natural left mid. Like you've said, Couch, attacking as a fullback, he's good when it comes to that aspect of it, right? He gives you a little bit more than what your normal defenders tend to do in terms of end product. But when you're trusting him to play as your winger, your attacking winger, my brother, Chilwell, we know this guy hasn't got the flair that we need on the ball. That's first.
He needs to play there. He needs
to play further back, man. So yeah. I would play Maatsen on the wing, like Couch said already. Like I'll play Maatsen on the left. All right, yeah. Either way, whatever he wants to do, right? Because Maatsen was one of our best players, like Couch said during pre-season, including Andre Santos, and we haven't really seen him. We saw him come on against Liverpool, for a little bit, and that was about it. So I don't really understand what's going on there. There was rumors before that he's still at risk of being sold because of FFP, But from what Poch was saying about him during pre-season, it sounded like he really wants to keep him. So I'm just a bit confused there. Like, this match is going to kind of show me a lot, really, because I know it's only the third match in.
No, but you say something there that's very important. And I don't know if you saw what I said earlier about this Premier League fixtures, right? And I said what Poch needs to do in these next empty, and again, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the fixture list so we can obviously look at this. But
The next 4 games are winnables.
I expect the whole. I expect from Luton to Bournemouth. To Hang on here, I've got the wrong fucking fixtures up. Look at all of them.
The Chelsea badge.
Next few fixtures, they should be all W's, mate.
So basically, you look at the next from Luton, right, all the way to Burnley. So we've got Luton, Wimbledon, Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham, Burnley. All right, and then it gets hard, but we'll talk about that later. There's 18 points to be made up in these games. 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. 3 of them at home, 3 of them away. All right, fine. What Poch needs to do in these games now, for me, is he now needs to play the structure and system that he wants to play moving forward at this football club. I don't want to see any fake back threes. Or if it is the back three and that's his system moving forward, then fine, he's going to have to just stick with it and play it. But I don't think it is. I still keep saying that. I think it is a back.
It's not.
Especially with Romeo Lavia now at Chelsea, who's going to be available in a week or 2 anyway. So, I think the back 4 you have to start doing now. You beat Luton, you play Wimbledon, you do the same thing again. You build up their confidence, you build up their structure and game plan, and they start clicking and playing together more, and it works. And you go to Forest, right, which is our last game, and then we have a 2-week break. From the 2nd of September to the 17th, we have a 2-week break. By the time we get to Bournemouth, we have Lavia available because he only said a couple of weeks, and he'll be available as well. Then we can start playing 4-3-3s, 4-2-3-1s, whatever. But then 4 games there, we still need to be playing back 4s, in my opinion. And we need to be winning these games. Out of 18 points, minimum of 15 for me in these games. We have to win these games.
I'm saying a minimum, the max, we cannot go lower than 13 points here. 13 points is, I'm saying 4 wins and a draw and a loss.
They can't roll up to the next game, which is after that period against Arsenal, Tottenham, City, Newcastle, Brighton, Man United, which is all right, Brentford as well. Yeah, all these games here with only 10 points or 8 points.
It's true. It's true. I agree with Jem.
That run of games there is going to be more important than the run before, because if we go through those games and not collect enough points, I'm saying what you're saying, Arsenal, Brentford, Tottenham, City, Newcastle,
Man United.
We have to get 8-10 points there.
Yeah, but to do that, we need to at least have 15 points here. We need to start drilling this structure into the players now, so that when we get to Arsenal, we can play a 4-3-3. They're all confident in their positions and roles. We know what we need to do. They've played with each other enough in these games, and we can be effective and have a go at these games.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. I don't want to see, we don't know what fucking formation we're still going to play when we get to Arsenal. Who's going to play on the left? Who's going to play on the right?
And there's really no excuses about the whole formation.
For me, it's less about the formation. It's more about the players on the pitch. I don't want to see 5 defenders. I don't want to see 5 defenders on the pitch. That's what I'm saying. Because the shape changes the gameplay is so fluid. We don't necessarily play with a back 3 all the time. It's just who's on the pitch. So if you have 5 defenders on the pitch, it just kills any sort of forward attacking threat that we have. That's the problem I have. It's not about the shape so much. It's about who is on the pitch.
No, it is the shape, because they need for them to be able to build up links and chemistry and understand what they're doing moving forward. The shape has to be consistent. You can't keep every week changing the shape like we have done for 3 years, and then when we come to the bigger games, we're still sitting there going, "Who's going to play? What's the lineup going to be?" Because that's part of the problem.
Yep. It's all about muscle memory, man. It's all about muscle memory.
That's not what I'm saying. What they've been rehearsing and whatnot is basically attacking with a back 3 anyways. It's just the problems that I run into is the fact that we have too many defenders on the pitch. Last game we had 5 defenders on the pitch, whereas in other games we had 6, 7.
If you're playing a back 3, right? We, as much as you're saying about the personnel, Poch is gonna take out an extra attacker, bro. He's gonna do it. So if you're saying that, you haven't got a problem with the shape, it's the personnel. I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying to you is, if Poch is playing a back 3, he's trying to be a little bit more pragmatic. So he's not going to play an extra attacker if he's playing a back three. He's going to stick to the back three that you've been seeing in terms of Silva, Disasi, and Levi. He's not going to put an extra attack on. So what Jem is trying to say is every time we go to a back three, we're losing that attacking threat because we're having to take out an attacker. And I agree with that.
Okay, but
we can't be playing. We don't need to play a back three with the players that we've got, the personnel that we've got.
What
especially
I'm saying is,
after what we've been seeing.
What Poch is saying is that we're playing a 4-2-3-1 asymmetrically. That's what he said. So when you play with the fullbacks, like who was it? Like Gusto and Chilwell, the build-up play involves Gusto sitting back while Chilwell goes forward, and then vice versa. If Chilwell's sitting back, then Gusto goes forward. That makes up the back three. So it's a 3-2, whatever, like a 3-2-4-1 in attack. That's not changed much.
I'm sorry, that's just overcomplicating things. That's just overcomplicating things.
Is
man.
it?
That's just
this is exactly what Poch said after the first game.
Yeah, I think he's. I'll be honest with you.
I hear that, but it's just overcomplicating things. Just go back to the back four shape that the players were used to in preseason.
Okay, so how many defenders do you want to? Who's defending when we're in attack? Like, who do you want in the defensive positions?
What I want is a typical back four of Levi left centre back, Silva right centre back, right back Gusto for now, left back Chilwell, and then we move from there. And then we play out the midfield that we want to see right now with Casado and Enzo.
What is the setup though? So like, we're not okay. Every team that's an attack-minded team defend with three when you're in possession. Like whether it be Liverpool, whether it be Man City, Chelsea right now, you're defending with a back three. So it's either you defend with the three defenders or you take two center backs and you have a CDM or CDM sitting in the middle there.
So let me ask you something then, Couch. If you play a back three, what personnel would you go with then?
Okay, I would go with Disasi on the right for now, because I think that he's a threat from set pieces as well. Chilwell on the left.
What, left center back?
Yeah, so four defenders and then the two center backs as we normally go with. So Colwell and Silva. Then in the two, I'd have Caicedo and Enzo, or Enzo in the 10, whatever. And then
hold on, what's Chilwell? Sorry, what's Chilwell?
Chilwell's on the left.
Left wing back.
Left back.
Okay.
Yeah, so 4-2-3-1 essentially, right?
No, I said if you're going to a back three. I said if you're playing five at the back. That's
my bad. No, I don't. Dude, I don't want to see back five. I'm telling you, I don't want to see a back five.
And that's why I'm confused that you don't mind the shit. And that's why I'm confused that you're saying that you don't mind.
Because it's the personnel for me. It's not about the shape.
Yeah, but the personnel. My issue with that is you say personnel, but the personnel will be played out of position. Because when you go into a back four from playing what looks like a back three, Colwell plays as a left back because Gusto then plays in his natural position, and then what happens is Colwell goes into a left back position. Chilwell ends up being the left winger. Your whole left is disjointed.
Yeah, but you'd also have another attacker up there though too.
Who?
I don't know. Madsen.
Whoever's on the right, Sterling. You're saying, yeah, or
whoever's on the left. I'm saying a 4-2-3-1 with Chilwell bombing forward. The back three will be made up of Disasi, Colwell, and I'm gonna have to show you guys a diagram of this shit, man. Like maybe I'm confusing you guys.
Yeah, you are.
I can't know you play back four when you've got Disasi, Colwell, and Silva on the pitch. How does it go? Barring that Gusto slips in.
I don't have Gusto on the pitch.
Oh, you don't have Gusto on the pitch. Okay, right. All right.
So you played Disasi as a right back.
Let me get it up. Let's do this properly because I need to understand. This is where I need to imagine it. These things I need to. So you're saying. So who plays right then? Couch? Disasi.
Yeah? That would be Disasi there. This is in the build-up phase. Like, keep in mind, right? This is how
build-up phase. I just want to see what your build-up phase looks like so I can work it out. So Silva and Colwell, yeah? Like that, yeah?
Yeah.
And then who's on the left wing? Chilwell.
Chilwell would be, yeah, but it's okay. So Chilwell creates the overload with one of the attackers. Yeah.
Okay. So it's sort of more like a 3-4-3 then, is what you're saying. Then you have who do you have on the right?
Well, we don't have anyone right now, to be honest.
It'd have to be Gusto. It'd have to be Gusto. Let's just say, for example, yeah. So you do something like that where you're wing back. So basically, like James and Chilwell playing wing backs. Basically, it's the same sort of thing, pretty much.
Yeah, but I wouldn't I wouldn't put Gusto there.
That's the problem, though. Again, we don't have anyone there to really do that, which then affects the system.
Yeah.
Because then it's like putting Gallagher there, like we used to do with Ruben, right?
It would have to be Gusto. It would have to be Gusto.
It'd have to be Gusto. Yeah, it'd have to be.
If we're talking about playing people out of position, we can't play anyone else other than Gusto there.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't deny that. We don't have the personnel to do anything to do what we were doing in preseason. That's for sure. Because what he did in preseason was he played Gusto where Disasi is right now, and then he played one of the kids on the right. Whether it been what's the guy that went on load, Angelo or whatever his name is.
Wait. Have we not got the personnel to play a 4-2-3-1? We definitely have the personnel to play that formation.
Who said that?
Couch just said that.
Well,
He said
you
he
can.
can.
You can do that.
I think he's on about the build-up.
Do that.
We haven't got the personnel to play the formation was playing in preseason. He just said.
So who do you play on the right?
Sterling.
Madueke or Sterling, or if Madueke's not fit, I would start Maatsen on either wing. We've already seen Maatsen on the wing, and he scored that game. Like, he got the assist.
The issue's the 10, isn't it? Really? So,
The issue's the 10.
Bodies right there.
Like we haven't even.
this is why I would do this. I keep telling people do this for a bit. Like, do it.
Potentially, yeah. Do you know what? Like, look, as much as I don't want Gallagher in the lineup, I'll feel a little bit more I'll feel a little bit safer with a Casado next to him because I know he can at least break up play.
Do you know at Benfica, he used to play an 8/10 role?
Yeah, that was his natural position. We just been playing in our position for the last 2 seasons.
Around here and here. This was where he used to be around the pitch of Benfica, not here.
Now that looks proper, Jem. That formation that you've got there with the personnel.
That's what I would. Yeah.
Because look, how many times have we even slipped through a ball to Jackson the way we were slipping through the balls in preseason? A lot of it has been coming from the wings, whipping it in. I know his finishing should be better, but I haven't seen a single pass threaded through to Jackson where it's just one-on-one of the keeper and he needs to bury it. Because I think that's his bag. I think that's the type of finisher that he is.
Soon it'll be like this. Soon it'll be something like this.
Yeah. Something like that, listen, on the next FIFA, they need to give my guy at least 80, bruv, because Lavia is one.
Hey, listen.
What's up with
when
that,
it comes to FIFA, they always do Chelsea dirty, so I would expect.
They're doing your boy dirty, Couch.
Next.
They're doing your boy dirty, Couch.
You know what it is?
Give him a 78, man. Watch. That's all they do.
Look at my boy, Couch. Look at my boy. Look, he's a 95. Look at yours. He's a
he won the World Cup, man. My boy's barely playing, man. He played for Southampton, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I just feel like we've lost a little bit of that creativity through the midfield. It's a little bit stale. It's a little bit slow. Even the other day against West Ham, I was saying like the build-up and how long we're taking on the ball. It just kind of looked like we were passing for passing sake. Obviously, we had like a good spell of half an hour where we was actually attacking with intent. And then in the second half, it went back to just no ideas, bro. I get West Ham, they're a good low block team, but I think that a big part of that is the formation. We're not looking as fluid. The chemistry is not looking there like it was in preseason. And I'll be honest with you, like I said, guys, I don't know if you guys agree. I think Jackson needs those balls played in behind because his movement is A1, right? All preseason he kept doing it, and I don't think he was even caught offside once. He needs chances to be getting one-on-ones with the keeper or running at the defenders. They're the type of passes that he needs. I don't think that these passes that we're doing right now, these cutbacks and that, they're going to work for him because he doesn't seem like a poacher. He doesn't really seem like that sort of striker, right? I know he needs to start doing it because we need more. But end of the day, we've bought a 22-year-old that's still growing, right? Let's play to his strengths. And his strengths for me is putting him one-on-one with the keepers, threading those through balls through. And we haven't been doing that. And I think a big part of that is because of the shape. So we need to go back to basics. That's why I'm so against this back three. Because I just don't think it's even helping Jackson, in all honesty. We're losing that creative aspect.
You tell me this. In the build-up phase, how are you going to build up? How are you setting up the build-up phase? Because what I seen in the preseason was a 3-2-4-1, which meant Chilwell overlapped with Maatsen. Maatsen tucked inside to play as a more like inside forward, number 10, like somewhere in there exactly. And then Sterling would hold the width. And then whoever was playing where Fernandez is right now would be the additional number 10.
Like that. basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Well, that works for me. Providing in game they're doing that, I think that gives us a lot more. The word I'd use is more of a creative spark, and we have more creative and more, and we're
People
more
closer
effective,
to Jackson,
and we're more
man.
closer to Jackson. Yeah, we're more closer to Jackson. That's the
More
word.
closer. Let him link up a bit because right now he's dropping too deep. He's dropping way too deep
Yeah, but
against
he's
West
doing
Ham.
that himself as well. He's
No,
annoying me a
he
little
is.
bit that he comes this deep. Sometimes I'm like, stay in the box. You don't need to keep coming
Yeah.
here and like running here.
But he's good. He's good in those areas though too. Though, like I think his link-up play when he comes deep is pretty decent.
Yeah, but
It
there's
is.
no point
also
getting the ball
drags the-
here. There's no point in getting the ball here, playing it out to the wing.
Why not
And
though?
then-
Because if he
And then
lowers
I'll tell you. There's no point of him coming this deep to pick the ball up, right? Let's say we're taking a couple of steps back because we were defending. He picks the ball up deep. Sterling then makes the run down here. He finds Sterling out with the ball. Sterling gets to the wing. And by the time he arrives to the box, they're already set, the opposition. It's only just him potentially only arriving in the box. It makes it very hard for him to be able to get on the end of it. We need someone else arriving with him. And that person, if he was fit, would have been Nicholas Nkunku. And that's the difference because he would be the one that comes close with him, gives us more options in the box. And that's where we will be more threatening. But because we haven't got that killer instinct and that natural goal presence, someone that knows who can arrive in the box when we break down the wings from deep and find themselves in the right areas with their ball, with their knowledge up here, it's hard because Jackson, if he doesn't arrive in the box, we have no one. There was times where we had no one in the box when we crossed in. I've watched and I'm like, why? What is that?
it's just a waste of possession. I
You know,
don't mind
yeah.
him coming deep.
Yeah.
If he's laying it off to Fernandez or one of Lavia Caicedo, and then off of that because he's lowering defenders forward too. He's pulling defenders out of position. Then Sterling or Maatsen run off of it, right? And they get inside. It's just a different look altogether, right?
He just needs more support, and I think he's probably getting frustrated because when he does get involved, he's finding himself more here than he should be up in the box. So he thinks by coming here and helping his teammates. But in theory, whoever's the 10 should be doing this. He should be here. He should be going that way, like we saw in the first half at West Ham when we were playing balls behind, and he nearly got through on a couple of times. If you noticed, like that's where I want to see him run behind, pace. He's technically good, so when you play the ball into him, he's usually his first touch is very good. Brings it into him.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of, like I said, Jackson. There's a few chances he should have buried, but I feel like he's getting a lot of scraps right now. He's not getting clear-cut chances. I'm not seeing him missing crazy howlers. Up against Liverpool, that chance that he missed was quite bad, right? But
the header too against West Ham, he should have buried.
That header was awful. That was awful.
And then also the ball that really cut back to him, he should have. I don't know how he missed it, to be honest.
No, that's the first time I've lost. It was the first time I actually switched on Jackson this season. That I switched because it wasn't even like the ball was like he was leaning. It actually was the perfect height for him. All he done, which was wrong,
timed it wrong.
He had his head up. He headed it up rather than like that,
like downwards,
like a Drogba would.
This is what I said. I said the other day, like you said, Jem. You see that cutback that Sterling did, and he's fluffing his lines. Yeah, like I said the other day, I just feel like he's trying a bit too hard to get that first goal. He needs to just compose himself, yeah, because those chances there, that's dinner for a striker, man. Like whether you're a poacher or not, that should be your dinner, your bed and breakfast there. So that's what I get. That's what I get a feeling that he's just kind of trying a little bit hard to get that first goal. The way he's playing, it's a bit erratic. Do you know what I'm saying? And
I would rather him to kick that penalty, to be honest with you, just to get his account open, man.
That's it. When we start scoring goals, I think you will see a natural confidence with someone like Jackson. As soon as he starts putting him in the back of the net, But until he gets there, and I think Luton's the game where for me, I need to see him scoring. He has to score because he will have chances created for him in this game.
It's going to be difficult too because they play with a back five too. There's going to be limited spaces there, so he's got to have people around him. That's why I say that 3-2-4-1 build-up play with Maatsen and Fernandez or whoever in those number 10 roles, and then Chilwell and Sterling holding the width. That's how you're going to get opportunities. If we play like a 3-4 or 3-4-3, or we play with a 4-3-3 or whatever, you're just not going to get enough people around him.
I agree with that, though. I agree with what Gouch is saying. I think that is an effective way of breaking down a low block team. Because when you get two player 10s that are closer to the striker, but you hold the width, they can't just worry about it all going through the middle because then they can just concentrate. Chelsea have got two in the middle, one there. We can just all offload the middle. They can't do that because they've got to worry about the Sterlings, the Chilwells. It pulls them, it stretches them, and that's where it creates the space. I think this is a good idea. I think we should start seeing that kind of tactic going into these games and against at home, the low blocks, against the Lutons and Nottingham Forest. I think it's a good opportunity for us to create in that way.
And to be honest, that's where Maatsen was thriving, playing on that inside forward. Like he looked so good in that role.
Yep.
You know, his link-up play with Jackson was good. His goal scoring was great. Like I don't understand why we haven't seen anything close to
don't
that.
get it. Don't get it at all.
All you
Don't
need
get it at all.
really is
Take-
you can
take
play
one.
this system and do it. Think about it, because when we have the ball, you don't need four at the back. Chilwell will go there. Maatsen then dips into here more.
Exactly.
Enzo don't have to worry about what's behind him because Gallagher and Caicedo there, which means he's more up here.
Exactly.
And Sterling comes in behind with his speed, which we've been seeing, and gets in the box more with Jackson and helps. It's so much more effective because you only need to play a three at the back at that point, but you still effectively are a four at the back. But in game, three at the back, Chilwell further forward on the press, Maatsen in these holes with Enzo, and yeah, I think we should try it. I think that's the way we should be trying to break teams down. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see what Poch does.
As well, yeah. Like we've been chasing both games that we've played so far. It's time that we need to like put our foot on the opposition's neck and score first, right? Because I think
start the game on time. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Start the game on time, man. Like we've been obviously Liverpool scored first against us, West Ham scored first against us, and then now we're chasing. We're making it harder for ourselves, you know.
Because
so
it's individual errors again, isn't it? We seem to have this tendency of doing something stupid. I don't know why. It's always us as well. Have you noticed? Even last season, the season before, when we can see goals, it's because we do something absolutely stupid and it's our own doing.
Yep.
It's never usually a great goal.
I want to see. Probably decide. Go on, sorry.
I want to see the other side, because if we score first, you know, this is an attacking philosophy right now. So you might see 2, 3, 4 start going in because we've scored first. We've got that little bit of confidence. But when you're chasing the game and you're playing in a shape that you're not feeling with that back three, like we said from the beginning, then it's just not really going to work, man. It's not really going to work. So this again stresses why Poch needs to go back to a back four, because we need to start off on the front foot. We need to start off on that front foot and score first. And
if you're playing against teams, which we'll do for the next couple of games, that are going to set up with this will be their game plan. We're at the Bridge. We know what we need to do. We've seen teams do it against Chelsea at the Bridge. Let's just sit back and make sure that they don't score for the first 25 minutes. If we score in the first 10 minutes, their game plan's fucked, because then they've got to come out a bit more. And that's why I say it's so important that you start well, like you said. Start well. Try and get a goal in the first 10, 15 minutes. Get them to have to change up their game plan. And from that, ours don't change, because it just opens up more space for Maatsen and everyone. So they're
not going to do a low block once they've scored first. They're going to have to come out and play. And that's going to be, you know, that's going to be key for players like Enzo, players like Maatsen, trying to find those little pockets. You know, like Couch said, how we're trying to build up there. It will be good for us, man, if we score first, because then they will have to come out and play. I don't see a team sitting back.
I think this all is dependent upon how we set up in the first 20 minutes. I think they know at the back of their heads that we start off sloppy. I think that's when they're going to start attacking us. I think we're going to have to set up in a way that our players get settled into the game, then go on the front foot. Because there's no point trying to go on the front foot. And then we do something stupid like Gallagher misplaces the pass and they ping the ball over the top. You know what I mean? So
no, we need to have the mentality of going on the front foot from the beginning. Do you get it? It's not about getting comfortable.
Exactly.
Like we should be getting comfortable during training. We should be getting comfortable, you know, understanding the patterns. There's no
based on the last 2 games. That's what I'm kind of basing it on, based on the last 2 games. I think match week 5 and 6, I think that's where we're going to expect them to go on the front foot from minute 1. But since a lot of these players are a bit low on confidence and there's a bit of pressure on them, I think we're going to have to set them up to be comfortable in.
There's no reason for this.
I've been noticing the first two games, number one, we're not starting the game on time. And that first 15 minutes, we still haven't really understood what we're trying to do. Like it just looks like we're just like moving the ball about, but with no real purpose and intent of what the game plan is.
Yeah,
you know, we're still settling into the game. And for me, we have to hit the game from minute 1. We can't be like lollygagging around, you know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before we start finding our form. And that's
have you not seen Brighton? Have you not seen Brighton from the beginning? The other day they did it when they played. I think they had Luton. Was it Luton they had first game? Yeah. I can't remember who they had first game. They had Luton from the first kick, bro. their game plan is implemented straight away. You can see the build up and what they're trying to do straight away. There isn't no grow into the game. Like it's a 90-minute game, and for the 90 minutes you need to be playing your game. There's no point of just passing to get comfortable on the ball. No, like you should understand you're playing at a very high level. You need to be going in with the game plan from the get go. There isn't no going into the game 5-10 minutes and just passing it around to get warm. It's not. We're past that level. This is the Premier League. You need to be at it from the minute one. Do you get it? So that's how I look at it.
That's exactly how I look at it.
I think I think we do need to hit the game running and whatever. And I want to see us actually using this time to show that we can break teams down, that we show that we have got the answers in these games where we haven't had in the past. And this is on Poch. I've said this with Couch. Obviously, Don was always said it. One of the things that I've always questioned him about is solving problems like this, breaking low blocks down. You watched him at PSG. He struggled to a degree to break down low blocks there. When I watch part of them as well. So for me, he needs to solve the problems. He needs to make us function in these type of games where we can be effective. And this is what I want to see from now on, especially in these next couple of games. He needs to show us as well. As much as the players do, he does as well for me. So we need to see both of them pull together, work it, get some wins in. Let's start rolling. Let's start finding our feet again. And hopefully with these wins, it will bring confidence to these players. And we'll start seeing, more and more that they trust in the idea of what he's trying to plan and do. And then we start seeing better performances on the pitch more consistently. And we're winning games, right? That's what we all want. So let's see what happens. But when Badiashile does come back, can you imagine a back three of Disasi and Badiashile? Be like two blooming towers, isn't it, at the back? But that'll be quite funny to watch. Let's go for goals. Let's go for match prediction before we leave. Couch, scoreline. What we saying?
Honestly, at this point in time, because of the unfamiliarity, the side, the new players coming in, players going out with injury, we need to see. I just want to see Jackson score. I don't care what the scoreline is. I need to see Jackson score. Give me a 2-0, a simple 2-0, man.
2-0. Don, what you saying, man? What we saying? Goals?
Boy, yesterday I predicted 3-1 because I don't trust. I'm not fully. I haven't got the trust in our defense like that right now because they're doing some fucking stupid individual errors. So I can see. I don't know. I've just got this feeling someone's gonna do something else, right? So yeah, I'm saying 3-1. I hope I'm proven wrong and we get that clean sheet. But yeah, man, with how we've been defending so far, I can just see someone doing something sloppy. So I'm gonna say 3-1.
What are you saying, Hassan?
I think I will hopefully we should be 3-0. That's what I'm going to predict. I think we need to do a strong comeback and a strong statement. But like what Couch said, I don't care about the score. I just need to see us win now and get that momentum going.
Same. I need to see us win as well. I'm going to go over 3-0. I'm going to go with Jackson, Enzo, and Maatsen. My 3 goal scorers.
Maatsen, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I love it.
If he starts, I think he will score. If he don't start, then I will go with Raheem because he's on a bit.
I'm going to say
Raheem's in form right now. I think he might be on the score sheet, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak this into existence. I'm saying Jackson 2 and midfielders. Jackson 2 and I'm probably going to say Sterling.
I think an Enzo screamer is coming. So he's coming. I'm telling you, he's going to score
against a team that plays the low block and 5 defenders. I don't know if it's going to come from there.
What, outside the box?
There's just so many defenders in front of him, man. It's going to.
It might not even be outside the box. It might be someone dips the ball over to him for once, and he scored.
That'd be nice.
Not him dipping the balls. It might be someone else he made because he got. When you watch Enzo's game under Poch recently, he arrives in the box. He's the most when you look at the midfield, he's the guy that gets the furthest forward out of any of them. He always finds himself in the box trying to run in behind, or you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Tim's been waiting since Jan. I have, but he was playing in a DM role, to be fair. He had that one screamer against, was it Fulham? And I thought it was going in. I remember that. But yeah, he will score. He should have scored
a few goals. I just think that right now, I think that he's not being deployed exactly where we want him to be. But at the same time, let's not kid ourselves. The weight of that transfer fee is weighing on him right now. there's opportunities where I think he should have just banged it, and he's not taking those opportunities. So
Really?
it'll come in time.
You think the price is weighing on his shoulders? I don't agree with
I
that.
think so, man. I think so. Like some of these opportunities, he should have banged. There's one that he was like 1v1 with the keeper and didn't score. You know, like
yeah.
That was just poor finishing. I don't think it was him, like the price weighing him down. That's why he finished like that. I just think it was a poor finish, to be honest. Because otherwise, apart from that, it's all round game. Yeah, no, he is.
He should have scored the penalty at the end of the day. He should have had one goal on his name already, to be fair.
Yeah, he should have. But again, I feel like with Enzo, he just needs that one, and then we move from there. Like these guys need to just get that confidence and actually, see the ball go into the back of the net, man. And we move from there. Like.
That goal that he scored against in the World Cup, where we done like a step over cut inside and just buried it.
Ooh, against Australia.
That there is Enzo at Benfica. That was, you could see that confidence, in his game and whatever. I think he finds that soon. I really do. I think he starts seeing that more in them areas. Once he knows behind him, he ain't got to worry about it because Lavia and blimmin' Caicedo are there. By the way, that's quite interesting. That comment that I read on Twitter about how Caicedo like slightly influenced the Lavia deal, apparently. And he said, look, I want to play with you. I want to play with you in midfield. So that's mental. The fact that was apparently Caicedo. So, but Caicedo and Lavia in midfield is disgusting. Like,
crazy.
It is weird, but it's crazy. And I want to see it.
If you would have told me that last January that we'd have Fernandes, Caicedo and Enzo in the midfield, or Fernandes, Caicedo and Lavia in the midfield, I would have been like, "What are you talking about? That's just."
That would have been. They would have said this career mode. Todd Bowley is coming.
That is career mode, but that is dream come true, and we need to see that in the bigger games. When we get to Arsenal and Man United and Newcastle, Man City, that has to be our midfield, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it has to be.
Without question.
If he starts playing Gallagher's and fucking all this shit, then
listen, Jem, this is why I'm still an advocate for get Gallagher out, because there's certain players that managers will always love. And if Poch starts overcomplicating things, the way Pep does that in certain games, and starting Gallagher and dropping Lavia, bringing him off the bench, that's really gonna jar me, bro. That's why I'd rather just get rid of this guy so we don't have potential problems like that. Because I'm telling you, bro, there's players that managers just like. There's players that managers
58 million on this guy. There's no way in hell we spend 58 million on Lavia and he does not be in the team.
I know that, bro. But politics, bro. You get it. We see one thing, but Poch is the one that's training.
You got yourself a natural. My annoying. This will annoy me the most if he does do this. I will eat him alive. I promise you now. If he does this, and I see it.
So will I. Will I.
You go and get yourself a specialized DM, but you then play someone that ain't even playing in his current role for someone on the bench that actually plays there. Makes no fucking sense, does it? You've got a player that's naturally that player that's been brought in to fulfill, in my opinion, that role in a 4-3-3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that allows
Gallagher's a squad guy for me, man. Like I don't, whether he stays or goes, neither here nor there for me. He's a squad guy. He can come in and do a job for you. Run around, do this, do that, whatever. Score goals.
Evidently, people say, yeah.
I was waiting for that comment. That's what everyone knows, isn't it? Right around.
People say, why did Caicedo look lost against West Ham? Well, I'll tell you why. I'm not saying he can't play that role because we've said he can play that deeper role. I think Caicedo's more effective if he just has. I think he could be more effective if he just had that specialist behind him, and he could be more of like I'm going to use it, Essien/Kante role, where he can still be there, but break up play, intercept, press high, because he does it for Brighton. Press is so high, wins the ball, this, that, and the other. And I know he has no one behind him. People go, yeah, but he's still the last man. He can do the job. I just think he could be even better having a Lavia that's just actually. And Lavia even said in his press conference, in his interview for Chelsea, said, "I've been brought in to just protect the back four. That's what I do. I just sit. That so we have to do. What I'm saying is, have Lavia there. Let Caicedo then go. Oh, do you know what? I can still help Lavia when we're out of position, but I can go and help Enzo on the press.
Further up. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, like with Caicedo pressing you from the front, bro. That guy is serious, bro. Like Caicedo pressing you from the front, because even if they manage to beat the press, you still got Lavia behind him, and Caicedo he's got a really, really good recovery tackle as well. He's an engine. So even if they bypass him, he can still run back. So that dynamic will be good, man. You can have Caicedo dropping back as the furthest man sometimes, Lavia pushing up when he's on the ball, And then, Casado out of possession, he's pushing up a little bit more as well. It's a good dynamic to have, man. That's what I was saying to
But
Couch.
in the low block games like we've got tomorrow, you can play just a no Lavia and just play a Caicedo because you're going to dominate the majority of the ball anyway. So do that.
The thing about Caicedo in the final third, that's obviously his ball winning's second to none. But like, didn't he score a goal off of pressing? He did.
And bro, I can't. That guy looks wham. That guy just looks strong, man. He looks like a strong guy, physical, like.
Yeah, man.
Physical. It's his aggressiveness, and when I watch him, he as soon as the ball gets played, bang, he's there.
Yeah,
that's what I him. Like it's just, and that's what I love. I'm like, you're going to have a problem. You want to play out from the back against us, and you've got Caicedo just running around after you like a nutter.
It's long. It's long
for us. Do you know what I mean? When Kante was pressing so high and he's peak and just winning balls and stuff like. It's priceless. They become so important. It's your engine. That's the difference. Because when you win the ball further up the pitch and you catch them off guard, it leaves space for your strikers, your attackers coming in. You know what I mean? One thing I know we haven't seen the best of what's to come so far. That's another good thing as well. Because like Couch said earlier, we're missing a lot of players, man, at the wrong time. It's so annoying that we're missing guys like Nkuku. And even this weekend, even on Friday, we're still not going to see our best 11 because I doubt Lavia is going to be even in the squad that game because Poch said he's not going to be available for the next few weeks or something like that. Yeah,
so
but he said a few weeks because there's an international break. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair. So we might see him start against Wimbledon, but there's definitely more to come, man. But now Poch needs to start making things work. Who do you guys want to see come in now? Because obviously it looks like we're probably going to bring in another.
Coming in just quickly before you go into that. Welcome to Chelsea, David Washington. He is here.
He's here now, yeah.
He's in the blip. It's just confirmed by Chelsea as well. He's a striker. What Chelsea will do with him? We're being told he will get sent off to Strasbourg.
Yeah, he looks needy to me. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I can't lie. The Santos fans right now aren't happy about this. Apparently, this is a proper player, man. Proper player.
Is he that good?
This Washington kid?
That's what I've been seeing online. That Santos fans aren't happy about him being sold and that, and they rate him highly. And from the goals that I've seen of his, he looks quite clutch, quite clinical. To be fair,
it's all early doors. He probably.
I'll be late for that. He has to show me first. I can't.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll be late for that.
Show us in the top 5 leagues.
And to be fair, I would actually have played Santos over Gallagher, but I think Gallagher, in what he's done, I mean, I still don't like him there. I just think Poch is just going to... I think Santos, Enzo and Caicedo would have been interesting for him. I'd like to see that. Yep.
That works, man. I don't know. Me and Couch were speaking about Santos yesterday. Like, what is the plan for him right now? Are we loaning him? He wasn't in the squad against West Ham. He got no game time. Leslie even came on before him against Liverpool, and Leslie didn't play a single game of pre-season. Santos was bossing it in pre-season. So I don't understand what the dynamic is there. Is it because we've gone to a free that he's not getting game time? Are we going to see more of him now that if we go to a back four, we're going to see more of Santos? It's really annoying, man, because I thought he had a really good pre-season. I'd say he was our top three pre-season players, to be honest with you. So I don't know what's happened there. I don't know what's happened there.
You can see the difference between him and Casadei when they both played. Like Casadei, I could tell needed a bit more time. He was good, but he could tell he weren't ready. Do you know what I mean? When I looked at Santos, I kind of saw a player that I thought, you know what, right? He won't play loads of games, but he's good enough to have in the team and come in for games like Luton. Right?
Yeah,
exactly. And in play with his squad. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see what happens, guys. But I have got
me, just one last comment as well. Just me seeing Santos in a lineup, I'm not feeling the way I'm feeling with Gallagher, because I'm looking at a guy that can actually play in that position well and do a job for us. Do you get it? So
Gallagher gets played, and I keep saying this. Gallagher gets played just because he's got the Premier League experience. Most
experience,
they just think, oh yeah, we'll play Gallagher. That's the only reason I think. But
no, it's fact.
Anyway, guys. Big up, good show. Over 2 hours, 200 people here as always. Big up to you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was nice actually, just talking. We haven't done a preview in ages. It was nice just talking a bit of preview, a bit of transfers, breaking down the systems. We're going to learn more about the systems, by the way, in the next couple of games, and we'll be reviewing every setup, every system, match reactions, talking about did he get it right, Poch? Did he get it wrong? What was good? Hopefully, what was more good than bad as well in these next couple of games. We'll see. But we start tomorrow, 8 o'clock tomorrow, guys. Friday. Chelsea are playing on a Friday for once, which is interesting. So we'll see how we perform on a
When was our
Friday.
last game on a Friday? When was the last game on a Friday? Was it against Fulham? João Felix's debut.
Was it not City? Did you not play City on a Friday?
City?
We lost. Yeah.
I can't remember. I think we played. I remember we played Fulham when João Felix got red. I'm sure that was on a Friday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was on a Friday.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember.
That's the last game I remember on a Friday. I don't remember any other games on a Friday.
People were still calling for João Felix on Twitter as well. He's going Barcelona.
They need to stop with that, man.
Another option down the tubes, man. What are we gonna do? So yeah, we didn't even talk about that, man. Who you guys want to see come in? Like, but I guess we can get that.
It's either Turkey. I wanted Kudus.
I'm sure one of the scouts have found a wonder kid somewhere.
I wanted Kudus.
Listen, I love João Felix, but for me, there's better options with more end products. I don't want that same problem of fluffing chances.
Who would you go for?
In terms of end products, what in that 10?
Yeah.
I'll listen. I want Kudus, maybe even a Cherky. He looks like he's more clinical than João Felix, to be fair. They're the main two that I would look at. Morgan Gibbs-White, I would pick over João Felix. Yeah, man. And who else? Eze, I'm taking over João Felix. All these guys just have more end products, man. They have more end product than him. So I'm taking a few names before.
My issue with Felix, and it sticks to when he first even walked through the door of Chelsea, even now, is when I look at what we need to solve as a problem. If you're bringing him in now, yeah, he would probably play link up well with Jackson. They're both good with the ball, and yeah, flicks and whatever. But end product, creating and scoring goals, making the right decision to pass the balls. I have them question marks still. And when you look at someone like Kudus, who don't create loads but scores double digits, he's already, for me, more effective than João Felix. Because
I'm just gonna have to pause on that. I'm just gonna have to pause on that just based on this. He's doing it in the Eredivisie, right? Like, there's going to be an adjustment coming to the Premier League. This whole goal scoring thing, right? Like, it's completely different. Let's just be real about that.
So it's about Nkunku, though.
Nkunku in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, because Bundesliga gets called out.
Nah, not like Eredivisie, though, bro. Come on now.
It does.
That's a different level. That's a different level.
It gets called out. It gets called out. It was even getting called out. It was even getting called out for Haaland, and everyone could see that Haaland's just an anomaly.
Guys, I'm not denying that it's a lower league. I'm just saying if you take goals in the Eredivisie and you contrast that with goals in the Bundesliga, it's different.
Yeah, but you have to look at the profile and what the player offers as well.
I'm not denying that. I see things that I like about him, and I don't get it twisted. I want him. I think that he could help us in a multitude of ways. I'm just saying I can't necessarily say that he's going to bring goals right from the back. I think it's going to take an adjustment period.
But I can tell you something. João Felix had a good number of months to score goals and wasted it.
He scored 4, man. What do you mean? That was pretty decent.
He scored 4.
Yeah.
What it is, Couch. Yeah, listen, I love Felix. I love him as a player. And what I kept banging on about last season is, listen, let's keep him because we're going to bring in more quality around him. I want to see him with more quality. But now that we're actually talking about who we could actually bring in realistically right now, I've got others that are in my list ahead of him, like simply because they've got more end products. Whether it's in a different league, whether it's, playing in this country, that country. When I look at the profile of that player and their attributes, they have more end products than Felix. Like I said, what's his name? Morgan Gibbs-White is definitely more creative than Felix. Finishing wise, I'm not too sure. He needs to polish up on that. Kudus is definitely a better finisher than him. Cherky looks like he's got more end product than him as well. So as much as I like Felix, I'm just looking at others right now that I think have more end product.
Hey, you're well within your right for that as well. I can't hold you. I can't tell you, no, you should be feeling Felix based on these reasons because he hasn't really given us. It was just a tough season to come in on. Let's just be real.
It was
a tough season, man. And, the player types that he was playing with and whatnot, I can't really evaluate. We only have that 6-month period to evaluate him on, but I can't really hold his standard to what we saw on the pitch, man. There's times where he was the only one doing anything for us. In games. It's like, what's going on?
The thing is though, Couch, his whole career, his numbers aren't great. And yes, he's been played at Atletico, and it was under Simeone. They didn't get on. But it's just with Felix, it's another risk when there's other players that guarantee you a little bit more end product, if that makes sense. So it would be very silly to ignore everyone else who's actually showing the end product in the league as well, by the way, and then going back for Felix because let's just go get Felix and make it look pretty.
Yeah.
And you guys know how much
I hear
like
you. I
Felix
hear
Shaw.
you.
Let me this come off. I'll quickly show you saying after we get off it. But guys, smash the like, subscribe if you're new. I will be back soon, probably for match reactions of the game. Up the Chelsea. Hopefully we get the win, and I'll see you again very shortly, guys. Peace.
Peace.